Let's see what happens. Oh, I think we did it. Okay, wait, it's working. Huge. Yeah, okay. Here, I'll show you guys. I love being biased. Let's go. I think I got it to work. All right, we are live streaming on YouTube as well for the first time. Let's go. We did it. I don't know how that looks on YouTube, but it seems clear enough for now for a first stream. Let's go G2. The G2 fan? Okay. Don't blame you. All right. Well, if that explodes, someone will let me know. I don't know. I'm sorry, but LG clears K Corp. Oh no. Oh god. How many spots are we ranking? All of them. All 16. Hold on, let me make sure I don't Let me make sure I don't leak my own rankings here. Sorry, I have 7 million tabs open. Oh god. Yeah, that was what I didn't want. Okay. All right. Put all of these over here. All right. Okay. So, today, only in like 2 hours, we're going to power rank the top 16 teams going to LAN, which means we're going to power rank the teams that are going to LAN. It won't be a LAN or like a power ranking, global power ranking or anything like that. We're only going to be power ranking the LAN or the teams that are going to LAN. I did notice, I do find it interesting that when you lay it out, it is interesting how globally, how many teams don't make it to LAN that are higher than a lot of the other teams that, of course, are going to LAN. And I mean, we know why, but it was more than I expected. You guys know what I mean? It was definitely more than I expected. I think it was Johnny's tweet, which would kind of like, hold on, I'm going to pull it up. It was Johnny's tweet that actually got me thinking about that. I was like, wow, there's actually a lot of teams that, where the hell is this tweet? His global power rankings, he did like 1 through 20. Yes, the almighty. There we go. This tweet. So this was interesting to me because there's a good amount of the teams that are not actually going to major, especially once you get in like out of the top 10. Luckily, there isn't a top 10 team that's not going to major, but when you look at this, Oxygen, Space, I mean, there's a lot of teams in here. The biased power rankings. But I just thought it was interesting because, I mean, if you keep making this list, of course, these teams aren't going to major, but it's a lot of good teams that don't get to go to LAN anymore. Let's take it an hour to write with all the flag emojis. No, not really, because Johnny makes this enough. Like, he tweets this, like, every day. So the flags are all there at his top used emojis. So Johnny doesn't have to go looking for the flags. He's got them right there. You love Cheese to reply. Yeah, I read a little bit of this. A lot of people didn't like the Luminosity pick over, or sorry, the power pick over Luminosity. Which I understand for sure. Johnny tweets those daily. No, it's not daily. I'm just teasing him. But he does tweet them. I mean, this is his new this is the new farm tweet, man. Every time. This is the new farm tweet. It's good. I'm not hating. I'm actually respecting. I think it's amazing. I think it's great. I think it's great. Actually, this wouldn't even do that well compared to the other ones. In my opinion, has Gentlemates rated too high at 8. I think that Gentlemates at 8 is fine. I think Gentlemates are pretty good. But they are in my opinion, it feels like Gentlemates are showing to be some level between the top teams. These top 3 teams and then, you know, especially in Europe, like above like a Magnifico or an Oxygen, somewhere in between, which is exactly where he has them placed. But SSG ahead of LG. Yeah, that's fine. Interesting how Vitality's all French but not ranked 1. I think... Honestly, I don't know if mine would differ too much. We had a lot of teams do really well in the regionals, so... LG rating is fair in my opinion. They haven't shown anything that would say otherwise, but I'd like to be proven wrong. Okay. Well, I'm probably going to talk about LG a lot because it feels like that's the pretty big point of contention for some of these power rankings. But in my opinion, and like I said, I'm going to say this more than once tonight, but in my opinion, it's tough for me to give the edge to OCE teams when it comes to international lands. If you want to go strictly off of power winning, what was it, 2 out of the 3? Or all 3? It was all 3 of the split. Yeah, they were 3 for 3. You know, I understand. I get it. Like I'm not going to come after people and be like, "Oh my gosh, what are you talking about?" When it's a team that went undefeated in their own region, that does count for something. You didn't know that I streamed? Uh-oh. Well, I haven't streamed in like a week, so there's a lot going on in life these days. So, but I do feel like here's the facts. Here's the facts about OCE international lands. It's just the truth. This isn't even my opinion. It's just what's happened. Is that they haven't had a winning. OCE's never had a winning RLCS land. They've had some teams that have done well, but it's always been offset by another team that went to land that also did poorly. But as a region, OCE has never done well. And in the last, basically in all of the open era, the 4 seed, technically the 4 seed of NA has outperformed OCE in all of the open era lands except for a single one, and that was Stockholm when it was Envy. And even then, OCE, it was just 2 bad performances. And arguably maybe one of the more competitive performances from OCE in Sweden when they almost got out of Swiss. And they looked decently convincing. I guess let me look that up, but what's up, Leandre? Hello. Yo, shout out the YouTube streamers. I see you guys. Oh, Tian, you came here. Oh, I see. Yeah, I do stream. This is my first stream on YouTube, so if you're in the YouTube, welcome. First day out here. I'm sorry. I have 2 different chats trying to... you're over here now, Devil? Okay. The chats aren't combined. I don't know how to combine the chats yet, so I apologize if I leave some things hanging, but I'm glad I'm able to spread the gospel on 2 different platforms now. If Garrett wouldn't lose to Chiefs so much, OC would be the worst region. I mean, we can't hang on to one good land from OCE, a single team from OCE for too long. I'm sorry, like we just can't. And I'm not saying that OC can never be good. I do think that they have some good players there. I do think they have some promising team. It's not that OCE can't do well. It's just that they haven't. I'm not talking about the future, just the past. They haven't done well. In Open Era, they had one good land many years ago, many moons ago, and I'm not trying to take that away from them. But as a region, they have not had a winning RLCS land ever. As a region. YouTube stream quality is a W. Oh, okay, good. It looks kind of blurry on my end, but I wonder if it's just doing it for that. But cool. Glad people like the YouTube stream. I will probably be streaming all my Yap sessions that I do on Twitch to YouTube as well. So those are like power rankings. These are like prediction streams, like RLCS related stuff. And then if I ever do another Corelli Cup and stuff like that, I'll probably stream it to both as well. So that's the goal for now. So anyways, going back to this. Going back to this, I understand why people are putting power above luminosity. I think luminosity shot themselves in the foot a few times. Again, I'm going to mention this multiple times throughout the night, but just to get it out of the way the first time. Luminosity, where they first messed up by not beating SSG when they looked like the better team throughout 5 games in that series and choked it at the last second. Just choked it, man. They choked that game against SSG in Game 5. I think I was there. I was there. I was watching it. And, I mean, they looked good. LG looked good against Space Station that series, and they choked it. I do think people might change their tune about Luminosity had they beaten Space Station. And the other thing, too, and this isn't entirely LG's fault. They do have a hand in this, but it's not entirely their fault, is that they really did have a weak strength of schedule. But my one point about that is that in every single case that LG played a weaker team that was below their level or perceived level, they won except for a single team, which was Omelette, and Omelette turned out to be a pretty damn good team, in my opinion. At least for the last 2 regionals, they were pretty stingy. Well, Energy's always been in the mix. Energy was always in the mix, though, for top 8. And anyways, I mean, LG had 2 out of the 3 times LG played Energy. It was an absolute clap. But sure, if you want to toss in NRG, I don't think NRG was that far below LG, in my opinion. But I think so for these are like the trap games, right, for LG, and I think they passed basically every single one with flying colors. Again, I think Omelette was the big miss, but Omelette turned out to be pretty stingy that regional anyways. So that would be my only counter to the weak schedule is like, yes, LG did it to themselves because they couldn't beat a top team. They couldn't beat the SSGs and whatnot. But I do feel like they got the job done like 93% of the time, which I think is a very good score. For any team, not just LG. I'm just saying for any team to have that type of win rate against teams below them, I think is good. So you can't fault them for that. And then I do think that people are having some selective amnesia when it comes to how they played OG, because the first time they played OG, they won pretty convincingly, and then obviously they lost the second time. So at worst, I feel like that's a coin flip. I think LG getting swept by Energy is worse than the Omelette loss. I think it's fine. Especially when you factor in the other 2 times they played NRG. Which LG absolutely mopped the floor with NRG. It was not close. in either of those series. And that's the thing about LG. Like, people are being like, this is exactly the comment that I'm talking about when it comes to LG. People want to hang on to like the NRG loss or something like that. But then everyone's giving OG a free pass for like bowing out dead last in in Regional 1. And I know what everyone's going to say. Oh, they weren't warmed up. They weren't cooking yet. They didn't figure out their play style yet. And I agree. I don't think that's a bad take, but I do find it strange that there's so much slack cut for OG, who just looked horrible in the first regional. And I do agree. I think OG's been getting better and better too. But it really isn't against LG and OG. It's not about that. I'm just saying I was using OG as an example. Yeah, it is just recency bias, and I get that. I saw someone say it's like, well, these are the current rankings, and I don't know. I think that if you just did current rankings by how they performed in their last matchup, I mean, what's the point of doing them then? Just go by the number of where they finished, right? Right? And also, it doesn't even make sense to do that because, I mean, you have multiple teams coming into this that are, three-peat champions of their region. So how are you going to do that? There has to be something else that you have to factor in, right? And that's kind of the point. It's more than just finishes. It's more than just head-to-head. There's a lot more that goes into it, in my opinion, than just the number of wins. Because, of course, regions are stronger than others. And how you feel about a certain region certainly will impact, I think, your power ranking of OCE, of SSA, of APAC, of MENA, of SAM, right? Of NA, of all of them. So high key, I feel like this major has the most teams that could potentially win it. Who are your potential winners? Do I read the YouTube chat? Yeah. Spaceman in the YouTube chat. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I got... Actually, can I pop this out? Oh, I can. Oh, huge. Okay, here we go. I can pop this out. Huge. Where is this? Major 1. Here we go. Let me get the teams up on the screen. There we go. And IPF 14 is also insane. Wild take. G2, Gen.G, BDS, Vitality, KC, Furia, Falcons could win it all. KC, BDS, G2, Gen.G, Vitality, Furia, Falcons. Falcons, KC, G2, BDS, Vitality, Furia. Okay, well, you guys are... Hey, at least you guys are all on the same page. I think those are all the teams that are looking the best. I think that's a list of all the teams that are looking the best. So I guess I don't disagree. Limitless Masterclass, okay. K-Corp ain't winning a single upper bracket match. Spaceman going crazy in the YouTube chat. Bro, it's typing nothing. Guys, clearly Sphinx is the real winner. There's only one potential winner, and that's Main Man, Sphinx, Kevin, and LCT. In your opinion, Falcons are overrated? Why do you think that? I'm actually asking. I'm curious. I don't. I genuinely want to hear your opinion. In my opinion, Sam as a whole will do better than Mina this region or this major. Now that I do like that take. I think that's an interesting take. I think Sam is very good. I've been very adamant that I feel like the next up of the region. I mean, it's obvious. We know this, but the between Sam and Mina, whoever can come out ahead, I think will do themselves a big favor in the international discussion over this next season. I feel like both Mina has got at least 2 teams that I think are really good internationally and have some good experience. They have some other teams too that I think are also decent enough to compete. But Sam's just looking super competitive. I actually do think that, you know, Furia and Complexity and them coming out to, well, I guess most of Complexity wasn't in NA, but, well, yeah, half of them, or 2/3 of them were. But I think playing in NA actually really helped them. But Furia went right back to what they were doing, so maybe not. Do I think Power make it out of Swiss? No, probably not. I'm a Mina fanboy, but you'd say Furia and G2 are above Falcons due to the competition they're beating. I don't think Rule 1 will have shown anything to be called top 10 team in the world, I'd say. Okay. Okay, so you feel like the competition in NA, obviously, but in SAM in particular, is more competitive than what Falcons and Rule 1 are playing? I think there's some ground to be had there, to be stood on. I think you'd have to really go in and look at it, but I do think that Sam. I've always felt like Sam will be the next up big region as far as, you know, competing with NA and EU. But I do think that Mina's been surprising. They've certainly been surprising, and they've had some really, really damn good players. Complexity is a top team to be beating. I like that a lot. I don't hate that. Hot yet least biased take. K Corp go 2-2 and LG knocks them out. Dude, if LG beats K Corp, I think Spaceman will be insufferable on Twitter. A lot of people are talking about Sphinx is the next APAC Realize. Have you seen his game? Is so thoughts? Oh, he's good. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, no, he's good. He's the real deal. I don't know. I don't like calling people the next whatever. But he's good. You mean win, not if? Yeah, I mean, listen. I think that listen. I think that Luminosity's better than people are going to give them credit for. But I also feel like Luminosity has a big uphill battle because they're bringing on Cheese. It's not his first LAN ever, but it is first RLCS LAN. He did play in Gamers 8. And I think LG definitely started to show some shakiness in their most recent regional. They looked a little rattled. It's not for the sake of having a bad mentality. I just think that they have some nerves, you know, when the pressure's on. I think they played their best when the pressure was off, you know, like Regional 1, Regional 2. So Luminosity definitely will have an uphill battle when it comes to, I think, their presence on LAN. But they could also be a team that just blasts off as well. I do think that, I mean, I'm not really worried about Slater that much. Magic Bear has some LAN experience, right? He played in the Spring Major on Optic. And that was a stingy Optic team. Some other stuff that I was going to talk about with LG was like when they played on Optic, they took Team Liquid to Game 5. They lost to Moist in 4, and then beat an OCE team. I forget who. At the Spring Major last season. So they had some pretty, like they did not go quietly in that tournament. Now, they didn't have a great placing. I think they finished top 12 or something, 9-12. But actually, let me double check that. Was it 9-12? I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, 9-12. So it's this. I'm talking about these series right here. They beat. Oh, NIP. It wasn't OC. It was NIP. They beat an NIP, and then decent. Yeah, no, pretty close series against Moist. One goal games. Yeah, this was a pretty damn close series, despite it being a 3-1. And then of course this series super close, super competitive. Even a blowout game for Optic. I mean, maybe a blowout game for TL as well. But yeah, Game 5. Stingy team that Optic was. And I mean, really, I don't think anyone gave them a lot of credit. So now, of course, Optic had to go on like a dream run, right, to qualify. They beat, FaZe. They beat G2. They went down in 7 to Space Station. So they beat Complexity. They beat Shopify, which, is different. But I do think that this was a damn good run from Optic. And I don't want to, I'm not using this as a justification for Luminosity being good because, of course, this is a different team and with obviously different results in the regionals. When you're beating, phases and G2s and 7 with Space Station and, that's different. Even some complexities. It's different. It's different. But yeah, I mean, I think that Optic, the Magic Bear Reddles, there was something there, and it's still here. I feel like Cheese would be nervous like MB in Boston, but I'm praying that Slotzarella comes to his own. Yeah. I think we'll see. That's the kind of coin flip thing that I have about LG is that I am curious how they will how they'll play on LAN. Because if the nerves do get to them, then yeah, I agree. They'll finish very poorly. But if they come in at least confident, feel like they can win, and are comfortable on stage, then there's a good chance that LG might surprise some people. Same thing with like OG. OG has the experience though, so I'm not too concerned about them. I'm really excited to watch the Mina, Sam, and OCE teams this upcoming major. I didn't watch these regions play since last Worlds, and I feel like. So another thing that I'm glad you brought that up, because another thing that I feel like does hurt, especially some of the more secluded regions, is that we have not had, not SSA because they were never part of international competition, but we haven't had international competition since at least Gamers 8. And I feel like that hurts. I feel like that hurts Apex and especially like OCEs, because they don't get their boot camp in against good competition, a couple times a year, or a few times a year. So I do think that, if anything, there could have been a regression because of that. We've heard so much from smaller regions talking about how important the boot camp is. I mean, look at what was it, Power coming out and talking about how Epic's not going to pay for boot camps and how much it hurts minor regions, obviously because of the monetary aspect. But also, players have been very vocal about how important those boot camps are. We haven't. I mean, the last time you had international boot camps was if you qualified for Gamers 8, and before that, obviously, World Championship. That was back in August. No, I know they fixed it, but I'm saying that shows how important it is the point. It's very, very important. And so I don't think that I don't know if these guys have gotten any international competition in since Gamers 8, and that was August. So that's like what? September, October, November, December, January, February, March? That's 7 months since you had international practice? It's a long time. And that's for everyone. For the most part. That's for the most part everyone. But I do think that when you go back to a less competitive region, you will not improve at the same rate as teams going back to a more competitive region. And then you start talking about how competitive Sam's look this year. Do I have any faith? Why is that an Omega Lol? I thought the O was just an Omega Lol, but you actually typed Omega Lol. Do I have any faith in OCE? Yeah, no, I think OCE is sending some good teams. I do. I don't think that I really don't discount OCE when I talk about them. But when I have to put pen to paper and start picking teams, like OCE is not the teams I'm going to start picking first. But they have great players. I don't know. Something happens on LAN where sometimes they look amazing, right? And they'll like 3-0 G2 in Rotterdam and then, or what was that, a 3 whatever they did to G2 in Rotterdam? And then they 3-0 G2, but then they don't make it out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This is, I don't know, man.
From the past just subscribed for 16 months. LG taking home the trophy.
Yo, what up, Bass? Thank you, dude, for the 16 months, man. I appreciate you. LG taking home the trophy. Listen to me and listen to me very carefully. If LG takes home the trophy, if LG wins this major, you will not hear the end of it from Spaceman and I. We will be talking about this to our children. We will be insufferable online. There is nothing that you could say to me or Spaceman if LG were to win this that we could not rebuttal with because we won a major. Yeah. I have children just so I could tell them about it. Yeah. Good point, Corelli. EU will not be able to keep up with OCE after so much time apart. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That will be a bloodline story. Aussies are unpredictable in team games. How do I get rid of this reaction thing on this chat? Okay. It's the same thing for them in football? Okay. Well, unfortunately, OCE's been quite predictable at these lands, as I've been alluding to. And I'm not trying to shit on OCE constantly. I'm just telling you the truth. It's not my opinion. It's just the facts. I can stop pretending that LG isn't the favorite. We're not going to do rankings for another hour and a half because Jorby's got to finish his red versus, or not red versus blue, orange versus blue. I said red versus blue. LG winning the major would be the biggest underdog win in RLCS since I Buy Power. Listen, my power rankings, I'm not delusional about LG, okay? I have a reputation to uphold. I've rated LG quite fairly based off of their results. I haven't really gone out on a limb. But I do think there are a lot of interesting teams to talk about. I know we keep talking about LG, and LG is interesting, but and same thing with OCE. I'd like to hear people's opinions on Gentlemates. I'd like to hear people's opinion on Gentlemates because Gentlemates was a hard one for me. No, you didn't miss the power rankings. Power rankings are in an hour and a half. Mid. Not the Ant-Man talk. I feel sorry for the Kiwis. New Zealand is so far away. Yeah. I don't... Yeah, they probably don't play each other much. Going 2-2 in Swiss, probably losing because I think they'll come from lowers. Go out 2-3. Oh, so not making it out? I think they're on the fringe for sure. Comfortably a 4th EU team behind G2, Gen G, and Falcons. That's a good take. Not Furia, though. They had one good regional. Yeah, the thing about Gentlemates, when you really look at it, the problem is too... Oops, not that. They finished top 2, top 8, but they lost to BDS in both top 8s. But they also, when you look into how they went through their regionals, the first one was great. They went 3-0. And then I think it started to get longer and longer for them. The days started to get a little long. Round 5, only losing to teams that I think are good, in my opinion. I think this is fine. Losing to, if your only losses are Oxygen and K-Corp in 5, it's okay. You beat the teams you were supposed to beat, for the most part. Depends on how you viewed Oxygen at that point. And then lost to Moist. Again, beat some teams that, you know, forward, top Cougars. Top Cougars, you know, is pretty good. They were pretty fun to watch that last regional. They just kept running into BDS. It's like Space Station running into Gen G. Look at Top Cougars run. 3-2, 3-2, 0-3, 0-3, 2-3. Yeah, that's a brutal run, dude. That is a brutal run. BDS looked doo-doo in the 3rd regional. I feel like the winner of LG Furia will definitely make it out due to bracket luck. I made a few predictions based on different power rankings, and the winner of that always made it out because they got easy pulls in round 3 and 5. Oh my goodness gracious. Well then. That first round, I think, is going to be spicy then. We love that. We love that. I think Gentlemates take that top 8 at most, 9th, 11th at worst at LAN. Okay. Oh, top 8 at most, 9th, 12th at worst. I do think that they're probably around there, like a round 5 team. I guarantee round 5 Swiss will be LG versus Power. Honestly, run it up. Run it up, man. They have the best new decals, so they have that going for them. I don't know why, I really dislike the name Gentlemates. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then I started looking at their logo. Okay, this is just a random thought. I started looking at their logo. Do you guys notice something about the logo? It says Gentlemates Mate. Gentlemates Mate. That's what the logo is. I hate it. I hate the logo, and I hate the name. But I think the team is great. Gentle Mates. Mate. Gentle M80. That is what it is. The thing is, I keep asking on my streams because I'm trying to find someone that knows. Why is it, what is Gentle Mates? What, is that a thing? Is that a real word? Is Gentlemate a real word? I'm being dead serious. I don't know. Okay, I never had a high like this. I took a pill. Now I'm Neo in a new matrix. Anyways. My mind was ill, but I still feel like there's something I missed. Write down my thoughts. Maybe I could convince myself this ain't an abyss. And this life was never easy. I freely challenge my thoughts to seek the real me. It killed me to see my mama drink like that. I cannot comment when my favorite team is called Gamers 2. Gentlemen with mate. So that's what, okay. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, yeah, I know they say mate in, like, you know, in England and like in Europe, like English speaking Europeans say mate a lot. But they're French. What is like the French equivalent of mate? Or is it just mate? Gentle bruv? I'm not trying to judge. I'm just genuinely trying to understand. I don't understand where the name comes from. Anyways, I don't want to dwell on it too long. I just noticed that about the logo literally like 6 hours ago. I was looking at Wikipedia this morning. I was like, what the fuck? Gentle monsieur, or whatever. Logo is too wibbly wobbly. The logo is too wibbly wobbly. Amen to that. Amen. Mate versus M80 best of 7, not in a quarterfinal. Who wins? Ooh. I would love to watch this, but it's 22:40 right now. Night night. All right, good night, Saucy. Thanks for stopping in. There will be more YouTube streams, I promise. All the names are nonsense. A lot of them are. A lot of them are kind of goofy, but what does BDS stand for? I don't know. There is okay. I have a quick story. We'll talk about the teams here in a second. There's a quick story I want to share. Back in the day, I joined a team with JNaps. It was me, JNaps, and Nap. Okay, and the team was called Checkmate early on, and we were picked up, kind of, by an org called VWS. VWS, and I wasn't really like super in tune with esports at the time. You know, I was kind of like not new to esports, but new to being a part of it for sure, because we were on a team. And I asked the team, I was like, what the hell does VWS stand for? And the org couldn't tell us. They said it had something to do with like a velociraptor or something. I don't know. And to this day, I don't know what it stood for, and neither did they. Yeah, I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. It was the strangest thing. I'll try and see if I can find VWS. It looks like they have a counter. Wait, they're still around? Oh, no. They are not still around. It was this team right here. Their last tweet, 2018. I don't know. It was very strange. I'm trying to see if they ever tweeted. I don't think they did, but this guy still has VWS Professor. 6 followers. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, so anyways, you know, there were a lot of orgs like this early on. My God, these guys tweeted a lot. I can't find anything about it. Maybe a meteor got him? Oh, they have a website. Okay, do not go to that website. You can get 6 off followers by accident. Oh, they're on Wikipedia? Rip. Rip. I don't know if that was us. Wait, is it on my profile? Oh, it is. Oh, huge. I didn't even know that. Probably dodged a bullet. Just another random story too is when I used to be a player, way back in the day, my very first offer was $25 a month from an org. Yeah, that's right. That's right. $25 a month. We were making money moves back in 2015. I can't believe I never got to hear the call, Jorby. Or hear Jorby call and VWS go extinct. They're out of the tournament. 25 whole smackers. Yeah. No, we didn't take it. Obviously, we're like, we don't want $25 a month. What a waste of time. No, because they got more out of it than we did. It wasn't worth it. What's your opinion on Shopify? Absolute tragedy. There's so much talent, but it's just not working for some reason. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, unfortunate for Shopify. I do think that Shopify, if they didn't have the players that they had, nobody would be talking about them. After I think those 3 performances, because what they do. They went top 4, 17th, 24th, and then last in the regional. And I feel like when you look at like other teams here, like on this spreadsheet that I have, this is my own thing that I just manually update. You know, you look at like delete. I mean, top 4 is good. Don't get me wrong, and that was probably their best look, obviously. But that win over M80, I believe it was. But then you look at these other teams, and you kind of go, you know, these results aren't really much different than these guys. Especially when you have a team like Omelet, who, you know, might be cooking up something, might be cooking up a whole breakfast right here. So, yeah, Omelet. So, like I said, I feel like if Shopify didn't have the players that they have, we wouldn't be talking about them. They would have just been a flash in the pan type of thing. But I do think that they are better. I think they're good enough to make top 16. Let's put it that way. I think they're good enough to get top 16. After that, it's tough to say. You had one good regional, right? After that, it's kind of like, well, what the hell are we doing after that? It's what's for breakfast. I don't think Space Station needs to make a roster change. I think they had a fine showing. It was just unfortunate they had to play Gen G, who's like a team that just really does well against them. But I don't know. Maybe they feel differently. But I thought it was actually a really good split from Space Station on the whole. It's just they kept running into Gen G. I mean, some might even say that it should be Space Station that should be in the major over other teams. So, yeah. Yeah, I think Space Station is definitely in the top 4 for NA. Kind of depends on if OG continues to have the same like runs, and I'd like to see LG play Space Station again, because LG looked better than Space Station when they played, and they fucking choked it. Omelet had the complete opposite split as Shopify. I mean, kind of, yeah. I think SSG drop Chicago and pick up Eris, honestly, improve the accuracy on shots. Was Chicago, I mean, are you using like a stat there, or was he just like really inaccurate, or what's? I don't really think Space Station needs a change. I was pretty happy with the way Space Station played. If I'm looking at it from a Space Station perspective, the series against Luminosity was a really, really bad series for them. They won, but it was a horrible series. And then you got to figure out Gen G. You can't lay down when you play Gen G 3 times. Or twice, or however many times they played them in top 8. Bro has the Reed Simmons joke stuck in his head, which is an all-time nickname. Can anyone here speak Danish? No, I can hardly speak English. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that LG played some pretty weak competition throughout. But they also beat the majority of the weaker competition, aside from Omelet and then NRG, if you want to put it that way. But they crushed NRG. Full road when it mattered. There's a little mistake in your sheet. Pub didn't make top 8 in Regional 3. Oh, really? I might have accidentally... dragged it down. Thank you. Oh, that's right. Thank you. That's a 9th, 12th. Or 9th, 11th, whatever. I manually update this, so it is wrong sometimes. Every regional, I update this sheet. I update this sheet for EU, and then I update this sheet, which is like my favorites sheet, which is, well, these are LAN wins for every player that's won a LAN, not counting Gamers 8, 3v3 LANs only, and then this sheet, which is regional wins, and I just like manually update this. I'm pretty sure I got this initial data from John, because I had discussed it with him, and then I got it from Direct, and then I actually just took John's data because his was better organized than mine. And then I've just been adding it myself. Holy sheet. I just think it's weird people are acting like OG and LG wouldn't have also gone 06 versus G2 and Gen G. Yeah, I agree. I agree. The only Danish I can speak is lemon. Sounds like om nom nom. What? Yeah, this is my favorite sheet because this is one that I really like looking at for who's won regionals. This one includes all regionals. So I include this is my own personal sheet, so this is my own personal opinion. I include these regional championship as regionals because they were, and I also include the RLCSX. I do have a favorite spreadsheet. I also include the RLCSX majors as regionals because they were regionals. They were domestic competition that crowned a regional champion. And that's my justification for it. Some people don't like it. Some people won't count those, and I get it, but I count them because they are regional competition. They are regional competition. Where are the Vitality guys? Well, here's Alpha. And then Zen's in here somewhere. Zen. God, now I don't know. How long does it take you to run to the store? Do you think regional wins has a higher value in determining a better player than people think? I think people only use international lands a lot. I do. I do agree. Oh, Nolly's a weird one. Nolly's a weird one. I don't know if I have Nolly in here. I actually need to add him because I don't have. Oh no, I do have him in here. I have him split though. And I forgot that I didn't update the NA one here. Or not the NA one, but the I have to. It's like Turbo Pulse. So like he won summon NA and then won an E. I don't know what to do with that yet. It's good to differentiate, but because like Turbo Pulse technically has 8 regional wins, which would put him, you know, with first killer up here. But I don't know. I haven't perfectly organized it yet, but this is my favorite sheet. And then of course land wins, but land wins isn't that exciting because there's not that many lands. So we need more third-party lands. We need more third-party lands. Yo, what's up? The True Buttbuster 619584. What's going on? What's going on, man? Anyways, we won't need that sheet for a little bit. Sorry, I didn't finish the discussion. So do I think that regional wins have a higher value in determining the best player? I think people only use international lands a lot. I agree. I do think that a lot of the discussion is over international stuff, but unfortunately, that's truly I think is the best way to gauge who's good and who's bad. I think the way I view it is in the regionals, you make a name for yourself, right? You can become a popular player, but at lands, that's where you kind of become a legend, right? Like, you can't really become a legend by only winning your region over and over again if you can't win international stuff. So that's how I view it. It's like you could be the next best guy, and you could be the next big name, but if you're not winning international stuff, people aren't gonna long-term. People aren't gonna keep you in mind. So yeah, you kind of cement yourself as the guy at LAN, and I think that's fair because it's the global competition. You could say though that the LAN isn't necessarily the pinnacle of Rocket League competition though, because it's objectively not, because you don't have the best teams there. I'm going to save you the hassle. SSA will make history and win against an NAEU team. I'd love to see it. I would. I genuinely would. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think Limitless beating anyone I'd love to see. If they're playing against LG, I will be rooting against Limitless. But OG versus Gentlemates round 5 with crowd. Who you got? Gentlemates. I have a rule that if it comes down to crunch time, I do not bet on NA at LAN until they prove otherwise. And so far, if I was a betting man, I'd make a lot of money. I'd be wrong a few times, but I would make it up every single time. Now that NA and EU have gone from 5 to 4, it's going to be harder. Yeah, it is going to be tough. I want Limitless to beat G2 just to see T-Bait's reaction. Honestly, if G2 lost to the Limitless, that would be shocking. All right, I have to run an ad. Actually, the ad's about to run by itself. Get owned. Have fun with that ad. If you're on YouTube, you're probably not going to get an ad. So you're going to be okay. You're not going to get the Twitch ad, at least. If you're a sub, you don't get an ad at all. Just keep that in mind. Just in case you're feeling a little frisky. Just in case you got a little extra money laying around. Ads dodged, says the sub. Yeah, I have Twitch Turbo. Twitch Turbo's the way to go. I don't actually like. I don't like subbing to people, but not that I don't like it. I just don't sub to people. But I have Twitch Turbo, so it feels like you have a sub on everyone's channel. Yeah, Turbo's the best. You got 15 seconds of ad? Oh, nice. That's actually huge. What's Twitch Turbo? You just pay Twitch like $12 a month or something. They keep raising it. I might not hold on to Twitch Turbo for much longer. They keep raising the price of it. But it basically gets rid of all the ads. It's like premium Twitch basically. And so no matter what channel you go into, you won't have ads. Adblock stopped working for me, so so I started paying for that, which I get my money's worth because I'm on Twitch a lot. 10 ads, holy. It's almost like they don't want people to buy it. Well, that's the only way you're gonna get money out of me. I don't really like spend money on subbing to people that often. I mean, I have a Twitch Prime sub, but I occasionally will give some subs to my friends, but it's pretty rare. I'm very frugal with money, so. I'm watching all of your ads. I think for me, I don't want to talk about what's up, Mika. I don't want to name this like dark horses because I don't think that they're like dark horses, but I do like the Furia boys. I think Furia is going to be a very tough matchup for a lot of teams. I'm very excited to see how they do on LAN. I've been a big fan of Furia for a while. And I think that they've proven to be, again, the best team in SAM. And SAM has what is considered to be the most competitive split to date. I think that Furia will be a team that might surprise some people who may not otherwise have them on their list for a possible team to go the distance. But I do think that first matchup is pretty important. That first matchup's pretty important for Furia. And I think Complexity will be surprising too. I think Complexity will be very surprising as well. I'm still not done. Oh my god, someone help Ping Pong Kyle out. I think Zen's Mental got destroyed by KC. Just look at some of the whiffs in the last final. I do think Vitality is a different team now because of not having I think not having Farah is a big blow. It's a big blow. I think Fury will have a tough time getting top 4, but they probably make top 8. Yeah, it'll definitely depend on the matchups. I mean, I feel like there's gonna be upsets. I do. I know that, and I've said this myself. I've been part of this. I think that the European teams are very strong. I do. I believe in them. I think K-Corp wins this whole thing. I think K-Corp's the best team in the world, and I don't even know if I think it's close. But for me, I do think that there's going to be upsets. And I haven't done my predictions yet. I'm not going to do my predictions today. I'm going to save that for a different stream because I'd like to get everyone's opinions, and I'd like to have a discussion about it. But I just feel like this major will have upsets, and I think that they will happen to the EU teams, and it's just picking the right one. What am I doing with Jorby? We're going to power rank these teams. The teams that are going to major based off of how we feel their power level is at. That happens in 55 minutes. 55 minutes. You should use that spreadsheet for your use to predict the major. Yeah, we will. We will. Not this stream, but we will next stream. Maybe later this week or next week. I'm going to probably see... I don't know if I'm going to look into international, like getting some international scrims or anything like that. That's become a little less popular because teams don't really like it. I've asked almost every single major, and for whatever reasons, teams hate it. So we'll see. We'll see if teams are cool with it or not. Dude, it's crazy because it's such a funny like difference between games on how scrims are handled. I get it. I know that teams don't want their scrims to be public all the time, and I understand that. I'm not saying that that's ridiculous, but it's funny because then you'll go and you'll like watch a Halo thing, and like the Halo guys that have scrims, they'll stream their scrims and they'll have drops on it from like the game. They'll have drops on, so people can get drops while watching scrims. Like, it's so funny how that's like different. I think Falcons have a big upset chance. I think Falcons are rated pretty high, from what I can tell. From what I can tell, I think they're rated pretty high or decently high. So, from people at least, from the general public, people are pretty high on Falcons. I don't know if people actually believe that, or if they're just going with Johnny Boy or what, but. But I think the Falcons are a good team. Like, Falcons are a good team. I mean, you're talking about a team that three-peated in a triple crown in their region. That's fantastic. That says something. And all against Rule 1, which is, in everyone's mind, the second best team in MENA. So, Mr. Corelli, I'm still very confused about the... Why did they do it? I don't know. You're going to have to ask them. It's not a situation where they brought you into a room and said, "Hey, we're going to let you go." You just didn't get an offer and no one talks to you. So, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for them. People talk about Fury versus Falcons. The real question is Complexity versus Real 1. That's a good matchup. I want to set up another Corelli Cup. Do you guys remember when I did that? I've been meaning to do more of these. This was for the, what was it, Winter Major? Yeah. And this was really fun. And I want to get more. And that question about Furia Falcons, I was writing down teams. I was like, what teams would I really want to see in a Corelli Cup? If you had this type of format, 4 teams, best of 7, single elim. What's the most interesting 4 teams that are not European? Because the European teams, from what I've heard, there's like a weird sign-off thing with the French teams. Like they have to get the players have to get cleared by management to play in tournaments. Like they can't just play in whatever they want. So I wasn't really planning on asking European teams. The best one, or the most interesting one that I wrote down, was Furia versus Rule 1, OG versus Power, or G2 versus Complexity, LG versus Power. I really want to get Power in there. And then there was, I could also include Falcons, so like a LG, Falcons, Complexity, Power. Did you just read my list, or did I read your mind? I have it written down. And I also have another little scratch. I did want to do Limitless and get Elevate in there as well. As I did in this one, I got well, there was no SSA at the time, but I got OCE and APAC, which was really cool. OG's on the list as well. The problem is that you have to dodge who plays what in the first round. So, like, if you do LG, you can't have Furia and vice versa because they play each other. And then the same thing with, like, wait, what'd you say? You said, oh, OG. If I did OG, then I can't do Falcons. I've learned that, like, obviously the teams don't want to play the team that they play first in anything, apparently. They don't scrim them or anything. Nice handwriting, not going to lie. This is probably the nicest my handwriting gets. It's pretty bad after that. I'm trying to see if there's something around here that I've written. What is this? Actually, this is pretty good handwriting too. I apparently write this very nicely. What are y'all talking about? Oh, I'm talking about if I did another Corelli Cup where I only take major teams. I only take teams from the major. I guess I don't have to, but I kind of like taking the teams from just the major. Single elim, 4 teams, $1,000, best of 7s, winner takes all. So it's 1K to the winner. Everyone else gets nothing else. I'm going to see if I can get one going again for next week or something. Because I know teams are probably not going to arrive into Copenhagen until, maybe not next week, but the week after. Are not getting into Copenhagen until around midweek. Yeah, and I don't think I'm going to ask. According to other people, it's tough to get the French orgs to participate in things. They have this like bureaucracy thing going on. I could be wrong about that, but would you agree that Zen's problem is that he's experienced losing? Dude, get this reaction thing. It, like, blocks the chat. Experience losing too late. I think that's why they don't bounce back. No, I don't think it's about anything like losing anything. I think that Europe's just simply strong. Like they've just gotten stronger. Do something nice for T-Bates and invite G2, Limitless, Elevate, and Pioneers. Come on, man. G2 probably wouldn't even play in that. I'll see if players are interested. I don't know if they are or not. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. The big issue is they don't want to play in it unless there's good teams. They don't want to play unless they're good teams. And so all of them will say, well, we don't want to play. Let us know what the other teams are, and then we'll play. And so everyone says that to me. And so then I'm like, well, no one's committing. So I can't. I've invited these players, or I've invited these teams. So. Yeah, I don't think Zen actually has a problem. I think Zen's been playing fine. I know Power would. OCE teams are always down. Every time I've talked to an OCE team about doing a Corelli Cup, they've always been down. I try and put on one of these once a split. It just always falls through. I've only been able to get it organized one time. Yeah, OCE is always pretty much down to play. And they're pretty cool about it, too. The problem with the OCE is the timing, because they always get in really late. They always get into the actual area at, like, late times and stuff. Get power, complexity, rule 1 realistically. Yeah, that'd be good. Power, complexity, rule 1, LG. I think that'd be interesting. We'll see. I'll start talking out or reaching out to teams. And maybe like Monday the 20th. Oh, I can't do it the 25th. So maybe Tuesday the 26th. It'd be good if I could do it on like Saturday the 23rd. That'd be huge. Oh no, I'm not going to be here. Oh no. I'm going to be out of town. I have a wedding to go to. You want to see the 4 weakest teams battle it out? It would be interesting. Monday and Tuesday are media days. Yeah, we'll have to do it probably like a Thursday or Friday. Yeah, I have a list for Elevate and Limitless as well. They're in the mix. I don't know how interested people are in seeing them, but considering most of the audience that I have is like NA, NEU. But I think people would show up for it. I would love to get Limitless and Elevate in it. I think it'd be fun. Especially if they do well. I mean, last time we had Gladiators in there, and they gave Dignitas a good run for their money. That was a fun series. Poor Daz was like, hey, man, can I help you cast it? I'm like, sure, hop in. I don't think he realized we were doing 3 best of 7s. I think power is better than complexity and rule 1. I think power is good. I'm sticking to my guns on this one, and I'm saying I ain't going against the status quo for OCE. I'm not going against the status quo. Oh, I need to move this. Daz isn't coming back for the next cup? No. Yeah, power rankings next 45 minutes. All right, well, we'll figure this out. I'll figure out a date. I know LG's getting in there like the 20th. So maybe like the I don't know. This is going to be tough because of course I have a wedding to go to that weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. So I don't know. It'll be tough to make happen. Is it a hot take to think that the difference between 9th, 12th, and top... Oh. I don't know if you can still hear me. Hold on. I knocked off my box. I need to get I've been thinking about getting a new microphone that's not the headset because I knocked this thing off so much. And I don't like wearing the headset. And this wire makes a little weird noise. No, it's not my wedding. It's not my wedding. Is it a hot take? I don't know. I don't really know how the points would work out if you did it a different way. No, power rankings are in 45 minutes, top of the hour. By the way, do you think that there will be an NA team in the top 4 because they need a really good bracket? I haven't done the actual like bracket predictions, but personally, I think there's only one team from NA that'll probably have a good shot at top 4, and that's obviously G2. Otherwise, I don't have a lot of. I don't have a lot of faith. Sorry, my parents are texting. G2 could realistically go out top 8 or win the whole thing. What about fourth killer? Surely the fourth killer thing is starting to fall off. I do think there will be upsets, though. That's the thing, is I do think that there will be upsets. I don't know where, but I do feel like there are going to be upsets. I think there are going to be good teams that are going to lose to other teams that are not as good. And I feel like it's tough to say now, as it is in every single land like that we have like this. It's tough to say that now because you really don't have like a good justification for it. But that's just how upsets work, right? In most cases. Do I think there are any upsets in spring? Like the spring major? Let's take a look. Because I do not have all matchups memorized. The Furia one's one. Dependent, this one maybe, depending on how you felt about Team Liquid. But Complexity also just had a top 4 at the last major before this, so that's not that bad. I mean, yeah, that's definitely an upset. Rule 1 over complexity, maybe. Rule 1. That's not an upset. I mean, maybe BDS? BDS beating Vitality there? Just because Vitality had just been undefeated at that point, you know, for the most part. Moist over Furia? Yeah, maybe. I think this one on paper is an upset for sure. Just because of what Vitality was walking into. This could have been an upset. This could have been an upset. It wasn't. But yeah, there's a few. I mean, I don't know. Let's go back. Let's go back. Winter. Oh, well, Winter, yeah. Winter, that's an upset right off the rip. That G1 series. G1 beating FaZe. This is before Zen. Oh yeah, the G2, G1, yeah. This is all pretty much how you'd expect it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That one's, yeah. This feels ancient now. G2 losing, Vitality winning, Vitality losing, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that one was a little bit more predictable. Let's look at the fall. Let's look at fall. K-Corp winning, Oxygen winning. We should probably do it from the bottom up. Okay. Cheese losing, that's expected. Pioneers losing out, that's expected. Quadrant, that was expected. Falcons, their performance wasn't expected, but I don't know. I don't know if these are really upsets. Falcons were just bad. Falcons were just bad at this. I casted a lot of Falcons game. They were really bad. Club. I mean, this is all pretty much... oh, Moist. I guess Moist had a couple upsets. And then Power on G2. Yeah, that's a classic upset. A classic. G2 and 3. Both of Power's wins are upsets? Secret. Yeah, Secret definitely had at least these two. I don't know if them beating Quadrant was an upset, but maybe it was. And then, I mean, Worlds. Yeah, Worlds. This is wild card. Oh my god, I forgot these were all best of sevens. This is the most recent RLCS LAN we've seen from either Daniel or Beast Mode. Yeah, so, like, I mean, there's a couple upsets here and there throughout. Like, we've been able to find, like, at least one or two. Like, they happen. This bracket, I don't know. I can't remember this bracket having much. This bracket went, like... God, Complexity again. Poor guys. Complexity really were on the brink of greatness. A couple times. A couple times they were really on the brink of greatness. Oh, oxygen? Yeah. The post stood in the way. Yo, what up, Dr. Pepper? Thoughts on Moist this season? I think Moist have been underwhelming when they should have been great, and they've been great at the wrong times. I think Moist are really good, though. And then, I mean, this bracket basically went as you expected. I don't really think there was an upset in this bracket. So, I mean, listen, there's been a couple upsets in every land that we've looked at last season. So, it happens. It happens. Now, how many of those are really happening to the top teams, like the number 1 team? I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to that. But, you know, they happen. They do happen. And that's what's important to keep in mind when you do things. They do. It's not like they don't happen. Even if the outcome's the same, even if the team that loses that was supposed to win still gets out, they definitely happen. So, Lexa over KC. Yeah, that's why we play the game, baby. I think KC losing a game would be an upset. Okay, I'm pretty confident in saying that KC's probably going to lose at least one game at the major. Is SA the best team in the world? Question mark. The last real upset was Falcons at the London Major. Oh gosh, don't remind me of the London Major. I could still smell that major, dude. It was great. It was probably good if you were a fan. As talent, it was not fun. Yo, what up, Dr. Pepper? Welcome. Welcome to the Twitch chat now. But the games were good. The games were good. No doubt. The talent experience was horrible. That venue sucks ass. I never, ever, 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 ever want to go back to the Copper Box. That venue is not fit for a LAN that size. That venue sucks. Dude, our green room was the men's bathroom. Our green room was the men's bathroom. I had urinals in front of me. That was horrible. It smelled like shit. There was like a pipe or something that, like, the sewage pipe, like, was either broken or I don't know, but it stunk like shit the entire time. It was horrible. It was awful. That's why I say I could still smell it, because they had some sewage problem, and there was just was no space for talent. No space. Johnny loved Copper Box. I think Johnny would agree with me on the things that I have gripes with. I think that if you're being honest with yourself, the fact that we were in a fucking bathroom for our green room and had like a broken pipe or like some sewage pipe that just stunk up the whole thing, I feel like most normal, sane, objective people would be like, that's a bad experience. Also, the food that they served us, which was just catering, like, I don't judge a country based off of their catering, because catering always sucks. But, like, legitimately got me sick, and it got Cole sick, too. So, it was just not fun. It was not fun. I felt like crap the whole time, because I was eating god-awful food. That was, like, uncooked meat. It was, like, red. It was pink. So, anyways, I did not like that land. That was like one of my least favorite lands that I've been to, as far as venues and stuff. The gameplay and stuff separate. But yo, what's up, Mixer? You should. It's a funny way to judge a whole country. I'm trying to think who had the best catering. Which country had the best catering? I'm trying to think. Oh, I know the best country that, and shouldn't be a shock. The best country that had the best catering, Spain. Spain was great. Great hotel. The venue is kind of but that venue was also, that venue was weird. But Spain was pretty cool. Rotterdam's food actually was pretty good. The catering. But I also am special because I get a gluten-free meal. What's up, Vukin? I get a gluten-free meal, so I don't get the normal stuff that everyone else eats. But Rotterdam's wasn't that bad. I'm good, man. I'm good. Gamers ate food. Saudi Arabia, pretty good too. Pretty good. Unfortunately for me, that worked in the opposite for me. I couldn't eat most of the food that they served, but the food is very good there too. They had a very wide variety of food at Gamers 8. So Saudis did well there. But I'm trying to think for RLCS lands. Who else? LA was weird because one time they did catering and it was just they just ordered us food from like fast food places, which kind of sucked. I can't remember Las Vegas. Las Vegas, I don't think was that great. Guaranteed Newark, New Jersey was bottom one. I can't remember. If I can't remember, then it was fine. It's usually how I do it. If I can't remember, it was probably fine. I didn't go to Boston, so I don't know. Germany was good. There is still something, and I don't know what it's called in Germany. It's a German food, and it was like, it was kind of goopy, and it had like, I think potatoes in it, or like some sort of vegetable, and it was really good. It was kind of slimy though, and it sat real heavy with you, but it was good. Poutine? Putin? Poutine? Wiener Schnitzel? No, it wasn't Wiener Schnitzel. I don't know what it was called. They had something called like Munich potatoes or something. Those are pretty good. The German, it was definitely German. Poutine, look it up. Okay. Hold on, I want to make sure it doesn't come up with. No, it's not this. No, it's not this. We're talking about this, right? It wasn't any of these. I can't remember what it was called. It could have been a potato salad, yeah. I'm 0 for 1. Yo, what's up, Triforce? I can't remember what it was called. Oops, I don't know why the AN got capitalized. No, it wasn't this. I don't know what it was called. I still don't know. That's Canadian? If it was potato salad, that was underwhelming. I know what potato salad is. Potato salad's pretty popular in America, at least our version of it. Oh, okay, wait. Let me check that out. Oh, it could be this. I think it might be this. The thing is, it was a catering version of this, so... Yeah, I think it might have been this. Is it really just potato salad? I don't know if I don't know because it doesn't look like it, but it has the same components. I don't know if it's this though. It was pretty good though. But the lady was like, "Oh, this is like German food. You're going to love it." And I was like, "Okay, cool." It's just potato salad. I was lied to. It was way goopier than this though. It was kind of like it was a weird color too. It was not an appetizing color. Like this is colorful. It's got green. It was like kind of like a. It was like a silver like brownish goopy thing. I don't know, man. It was good though. I mean, it wasn't that great. I'm just saying I don't know what it was called. I got hustled. Those damn Germans. I got away with it again. Someone in the YouTube chat is saying, I don't know why caps lock's on. No, it's not. They did serve this, but it's not this. It's not this. They did serve this though. Something like this. It's not this though. I think it was goopy because it was catered. Yeah, I mean catering's pretty bad. Oh, Texas catering was pretty decent. I mean, it was just like American classics, like the American version of potato salad. We had burgers and shit. The problem with Texas at that World Championship, there was a lot of flies, and the flies kept getting in the food, which was really gross. So that was a huge L. Corelli does look like a German undercover agent in the U.S. I do not look German. I do not look German at all. Oh, you're Luka Zukar on Twitch? Oh, nice. Let's go. I recognize that name. Yeah, if you're on the YouTube stream, welcome. We're also streaming on Twitch, which is where the majority of people are. So I do. I look German? I don't think I have a single bit of German in me. I'm an American, so you know, my thing is like if I were to take one of those tests that show you where you're from, it's just like every European country. I think do I know my ancestry at all? Not really, no. I think my grandfather took it, like I'm very Welsh and Irish, I think. But no, I mean most Americans don't have that, or like I would say most white Americans don't. You don't have like, you're just like everything. There's not really like a country for the most of us that you can like point to, at least in my experience. Yeah, I don't want to give out my DNA to anyone, so I'm not going to do it. But Italian roots? No. No, all I know is that I'm very Welsh and Irish. You have 100% of the EU DNA, but none of the skill. Thank you. They start an army of RL casters? Oh, God. Go back to your country. I don't know what country that is. I would like to know. It'd be cool to know my ancestry, but I feel weird sending my data out to those people, especially organic data. No, I know. Anyone can get your DNA off stuff. I'm talking about sending it directly to their front door. That's what I'm not going to do. There's only one country I point to, and that's America. That's right. Which RL caster would you have pioneering the caster army Napoleon style? You know, there's only one general I think I'd trust, and that's General Achieves. That's the only commanding officer I think I'd answer to. Full strategy. Achieves would be an insane army commander. Oops. By emphasizing the general. James would probably be good too. Findable carpet. Any primers want to send their DNA? That's right. Yeah, I'm not really one of those people that's too, like, weird about it. Because I think if you're on the internet, people can kind of get at you pretty easily and find out everything about you. So I don't gatekeep data that much, but I do know that like places like 23andMe, like they've done very malicious stuff. So I mean, if I know that, I'm not gonna like donate my shit to them. But you know, giving your organic data and giving your online data is different. I mean, if you sign up for anything, I mean, your government, or at least the American government, has it. Chinese government has it probably too. If you're so public, what's your social security? 705678324. Yes. All right, we're gonna be doing our. We're gonna get. Good luck to whoever I just doxed. Yeah. We're gonna get Jorby in here in 20 minutes. We're gonna get Jorby in here in 20 minutes. Hey, that didn't work. I tried to file my taxes with it. Quick, write it down. 8675309 is the best social security number. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of unavoidable if you're online a lot. Like at this point, people could like AI everything about me because there's so much video of me talking. And my face is on a lot of stuff. At least in the Rocket League scene. So like you could like fully make me AI if you wanted to. Is Jorby back on the Furia hype train or no, I don't know. He hasn't really mentioned Furia much, but am I even real out? Who knows? Maybe I'm AI. Maybe I'm AI. Do you think it's possible we get 3 majors plus Worlds next year? Probably not, no. I think what Epic and the RL Esports team will find is that, or whoever the esports team is now, I don't even know who it is. I think what they will find is that they'll be able to generate the same amount of hype, the same amount of viewership for one less LAN, and they save a lot of money by doing that. Who has the most unique credit card number? Thank you, Devil. Like those sites that have public records of every American? Yeah. Yep. I think it'd be great if we got 3 majors in Worlds next year, but I doubt it. I think what they'll find is that they've saved a lot of money. They've saved a lot of money. You got to realize they've cut out one whole major just by this alone. One whole major, and they've cut out a very significant portion of the majority of the talent budget, which was a lot. The talent budget was not cheap. So when you cut both of those out, they've literally saved millions of dollars. Millions of dollars between those two things alone. Not to mention they cut down the esports team, so those guys aren't getting paid anymore. I mean, it is millions of dollars that they saved. So, and I think it's overall been good for them. Like in their perspective at least, right? You save a ton of money, and people are still interested in the game and stuff. And, you know, I don't know if Worlds is going to have like a wild card or whatever. Did the talent that remain take a pay cut? Yes. Yes, the talent that are currently working RLCS are working for much less than what they were doing before. And by much less, I mean 50 to 70% less. They are doing it because they love it. My camera and audio is desynced? Uh-oh. I don't know how to fix that. How do I fix that? Not for you? Okay, maybe you need a refresh, Double. All good, my beat. No, Twitch does that sometimes. I think it's just a Twitch thing. I've noticed that happen. Oh my God. Hello. I've noticed that happening on my TV as well. They cut out all those things just to afford Daz. I don't want to share too much about what the casters are doing because it's not for me to share, but I do think it's important that people know that the talent team that's working now are getting paid significantly less than what they were paid before, and that matters to me because I think a lot of them are doing it because they love it, not because it's something that is going to make them rich. Because it was they were getting paid pretty well up until this year. So they won't say that because it's not good form to talk about how much you get paid while it's happening. But because I'm not there anymore, I'm saying it because it's important to me that people hear something like that. Go paycheck leak. No, you're not going to get any numbers out of me. Do what makes you happy, not what makes you money. I definitely agree with that. As someone who left a very cozy and good job that could have been making me literally $250,000 a year by now if I didn't do Rocket League. But at some point, you do have to pay your bills. So, and there are guys that probably are close to not being able to. But I definitely resonate with the sentiment. I think that's a good sentiment. What was my old job? I worked in cybersecurity project management for a big-ass bank. I worked in software development. No, I was not a salesman. I suck at sales. I don't like sales. 'Cause I get frustrated, you know? Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah. I was living in San Francisco. Like, I was on some pretty cutting-edge projects that I helped. I did a very small part. I was not a big dog or anything. I did a very small part. I was just out of college, so it wasn't like I was like going crazy. But one of my more famous projects that I helped work on was the ability to withdraw money out of the ATM without your credit card. That's a project I helped deploy. If you wanted to, could you go back to your old job? I already tried. Unfortunately, in the software world, over the last like 10 years, but specifically at the company that I worked at, they really kind of changed the way they did things. So my role and the things that I knew are basically all gone now. So I don't have the same skills that I had before, or at least the valuable skills that I had before. So you work in cybersecurity at a banking firm? Nice. I worked in project management, so I was not a programmer or anything. I've tried, but I have tried to go back to my old job. I had an interview and everything, but I was not able to get it. So we're working on it. I'm getting my Cap M in project management. It's a rough time to be in tech. Yeah, I know, but it's something that I liked and I was good at. So I do think my Rocket League experience is valuable, though, for project management in particular. So not going for a PMP. I don't have enough years. I've never been a true project manager. I was a project coordinator. But I do think it still counts towards the PMP, but I only did it for 4 years? 3 years, technically. But I don't have any like true project management experience as like the title project manager. So I don't know if it really applies. So I'm getting a Cap M first. I'm working on that right now, actually. That's what I've been doing every day. No, you didn't miss the rankings. You did not miss the rankings. Oh, it's predatory? No, it's not predatory. It's how it goes for esports. Esports across the board, there was cuts everywhere. But I am looking for a job, so hit me up. Which pro would be the best project manager? Probably none of them. I don't know. CAPM's a general project management certification. You're the best project manager I know. Are you still at FaZe? Oh wait, no. Am I confusing you with someone else? Oh yeah, okay. No, you're still at FaZe. That's cool. I miss our show, man. I miss me and Scissors casting FaZe stuff. That was fun. I'm sad we didn't get to do that more. They were the best streams we ever did. Let's go. Yeah, I love those streams. I really look forward to casting those. Those were fun. I'm glad I'm on another team stream though, because it's been since the FaZe stream that I was on a team stream, and Luminosity's been really awesome. Hey, thanks, Neckler. Appreciate you, man. We've really tried to make it special. I think we've done a pretty good job. It's not everyone's cup of tea, I understand, but it's what we do. It's how we operate. Having us on LG is the best thing ever. Oh, thanks. I really like it. I really like it. Sorry, my back hurts so much. I have to like keep. That's why I always do this on stream. My back's just killer. Yes, power rankings with Jorby in 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Are you doing a team stream? We are working on it, Lunar. We could be going to Copenhagen. We don't know. That's all I can say so far. Describe LG in one word. Horked. So we're invading Denmark? We might. We might. It's very slim chance. Slim chance. Slim chance. I've known Corelli since I was 10. Okay. Big. You know, there's only a few people I know that's known me since 10. Sometimes I am worried that some person I knew from like my childhood like somehow found my stream. I've had a few people from Facebook message me, because I don't really use Facebook anymore, but like old Facebook friends from high school and college will message me and be like, did I see you on Twitch? And I was like, you're on Twitch? Copenhagen. That's good. Holy crap. That's actually a good one. I will alert the Danes of your invasion. What's a really famous... Hold on. Okay, besides Nazi Germany, I'm not going to equate this to Nazi Germany. It's another famous country that has invaded Denmark. I mean, Britain did. All I can find out is the Nazi invasion of Denmark. All right, we're not doing that. We're not going to say that. Norway? Did Norway? Who's my history buff? I don't know. Donnie historian over here. I like history. I think history's super cool. I like learning about history. I really like World War II, like learning about World War II. World War II was a very interesting time for humanity. Who liberated Denmark in World War II? Most of Denmark was liberated from Germany rule in 1945 by British forces. Why can't we be Nazi Germany? I love history. I could listen to someone tell me about history all day long. I really could. I think history is really cool. Especially when it comes to like the world wars. I don't claim to know a lot about history. I'm a fly on the wall type of guy. I don't try and be an expert in anything. I just like listening to things. I like learning that kind of stuff. I've been watching Masters of the Air or something like that on Apple TV. We're going to do power rankings here in about 3 or 4 minutes. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's about American fighter pilots, or I should say bomber pilots that flew over Germany and dropped bombs and stuff like that. And basically how they just got shot down, like all of them. It was a book. No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be. I'm not going to claim that we're Nazi Germany. I understand. Trust me. I understand. I am fully aware of what that would mean. I am not claiming that. Sweden? Would be fitting if a team. I guess there's no Germans, huh? There's no Germans that qualified. The German Rocket League powers have really really seceded. There's not a lot of German let me look here. I mean, there are a few, don't get me wrong. There's a few. Okay, there's like what, 4? You have Tox, Catalysm, Rizex, Raziers. I mean, Freaky's a coach. And that's the point that I've reached. Closed off, lonely, and now my mind breached. But thankfully I found a heaven concrete. The type of understanding to myself that it is not your fault. Another one. Germany fell off in Rocket League like they did after World War II. What happened to the Germans? Oof. Oof. Only a couple. Well, 3. Oh, wait. No, I found the Germans. I found some of the Germans. Oh, my God. There's so many Germans. Wait a minute. I found them all. They're just finishing top 64. There's so many Germans here. Oh my gosh. How many Germans is that? In this regional? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. In just this one page? I found the Germans. Where are the Germans? We found the Germans. There's actually quite a bit of Germans. There's so many French, though. The thing is, the Germans... I don't know, there's a lot of... Oh, okay. Dude, it's so rare to find just one French guy. I feel like the French just team with French. You got Belgian. I mean, look at there's another French guy. I get it though. You're from the same country. Like I understand. You guys speak the same language. We're kind of lucky. The United States is so big, and we all speak. Most 90 whatever % speak English for such a massive country. All right. Let's get set up here. I found the Germans. Major 1 power rankings. Okay, I'm gonna have to add a couple rows here. Hold on, I gotta get it set up here. 14, 15, 16. Let me hide this, and we're gonna get Jorby in here. I should have done chats. We can do chats after if you guys really want to. All right. What's my favorite historical event? That's kind of a weird question to ask because I feel like they're really not something that I have favorites for because a lot of them are pretty gruesome. That's like saying World War II is my favorite historical event. That's not a good way to describe it. 8 ads as soon as we start. Don't worry, we're not starting quite yet. No, I think World War II is my favorite historical event to learn about. I think World War II is my favorite historical event to learn about. I think World War I is also very interesting. I think the Cold War is also very interesting. I think a lot of those big major wars were interesting. I think the American invasion of the Middle East is also a very interesting piece of history. But if you want to go further back, I think the Roman Empire and learning about all the emperors, especially with the ways they died, is a very interesting piece of history. All of the battles that happened, or not the battles, but the English leaders, kings. I watched a very interesting video essay on that. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, history is very interesting. The thing is, there's endless content with history. I mean, there really is. Because by the time you learn all of history, you spent 100 years and there's more history. Another really very interesting piece of history is Japanese history and all the different factions in Japan, or like houses or whatever they called them. Yeah, it's real life lore, dude. That's why it's cool. And like how they really came to be on like who ruled what and why. Do I like the Crusades? See, again, the phrasing of the question is not something that like did you like the Crusades? I don't know. I don't know if I liked the Crusades. What was my favorite crusade? Oh god. Honestly, I find history pretty interesting because I didn't pay attention to it in school. So now I'm like getting older and I'm like, and now I'm like getting older. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. I don't know too much about the Crusades. Just to be honest with you, Crusades is not something that I know a lot of history is wrapped up in religion. But I do try and for the most part, a lot of the history that I like reading about isn't fully religious, or has like a religious intent. Although it's never, you can never separate it. Religion's in everything, especially in older history. What's your favorite moment about the attack on Pearl Harbor? Yeah, it's the phrasing. All right, let's get Jarby in here. What did you enjoy more? The first or the second atomic bomb? That's basically what it is. It's basically what you guys are talking about. It's the phrasing of that I think is important. There's no favorite part of history, right? It's more about learning, the process of learning. I need to be stopped. All right. Sorry, the music's off. I'm waiting for Jorbles to get in here. We're going to ask Jorby. When he gets in here, we're going to ask him what his favorite... I got to turn this up, I'm sure. I'm going to call him. I'm going to ask Jorby what's his favorite part of history. Let's see what he has.
Corelli!
Jorby!
Sir!
Okay, you're probably really loud. Hold on.
All right, well, turn me down.
Sorry, Chad. This guy.
You let me know about Corelli as well, but he seems perfect on my monitor.
All right, Jarby, I have a question unrelated to what we're about to discuss, and I'm genuinely asking you, and I don't know if I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay, I'm ready.
What is your favorite moment in history?
Like, of all the moments in time?
Of all the moments in time.
My personal favorite moment of all time...
in history. We're talking about not you, like in historical contexts.
No, I get it. I get it. I got to say, I think my favorite moment would probably be when Admiral Yisan of the Korean Navy took a little turtle ship, which was just a bunch of metal spikes and cannons all around the ship, and absolutely obliterated the Japanese Navy and lost 0 ships. You know, he had 23 battles, 23 naval battles, never lost a ship. He's the greatest admiral of all time. And so the greatest moment has to be the introduction of the turtle shell ship. 100%. 100%.
Wow. That's impressive, Joyby. I like that. I like that you gave me a real answer.
Yeah, I mean,
fact check him. My chat's saying fact check him.
Fact check me. Go ahead. I'm very confident.
That's good.
Yeah, you definitely caught me out a little bit there.
That's a better. I just said I like learning about World War II, so that's better than
fair enough.
What I said.
But. Dude, you should if you're into like war history, you should definitely read up on some Eastern conflicts because they have some crazy stories.
Yeah, I was just saying that. Like talking about Japan.
Like I'm saying, like. In the 1500s, like Japan, Korea, China. Yeah,
dude. That is some like someone in my chat called it real life lore. It is very interesting and gruesome real life lore, but it is fun to learn about. I know nobody likes history, especially for the young audience, but it is interesting. Pearl Harbor's at his number 2.
See, I always feel like they taught history like weirdly in school. Like they touch on certain subjects, but they like there's so many interesting people. And like that helped like shape the way things were for like however, and like some people just have incredible stories that like they just go missing because they only want to teach you certain things in school. Granted, they only have so much time to. So
yeah, they can't teach you everything, but
yeah, not saying they can, but you know, if history of things is what interests you, like yeah,
I love
check it out. There's lots out there. The best part about history is like we're still learning. Like history is not like a set in stone thing. Like it's a mystery. It's a puzzle. Like it's super cool. Anyways, done with history. Back to RLCS.
Okay. All right. my chat is going crazy. All right. Yeah, history is interesting. School is terrible at teaching it. Yes. Okay. All right, Jarby. Rocket League history. You know what? Let's talk about Rocket League history for a second, Jorby.
Let's do it.
Where
do you want to start?
I just want to you know what? Actually, no. I don't want to go off a tangent too early because I have things to say. Is it? No, not Cloud9. I have things to say that I guess is better served if I say it for each of the teams as we go. So I suppose we can just jump right into it if that's okay.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Number 16. Shouldn't be a shock. I have Limitless.
Of course. Might as well put both of us down there because I think both of us would be crazy if we picked anything else.
Here's the thing. And I don't like putting them last because I actually do think that Limitless can be competitive. The problem is that it's tough because they have a three-peat. They dropped 9 games in their regional. The problem is when you go to RLCS, and a couple times, granted, they haven't had great practice, right? This is their first time being able to participate in a major. But on an RLCS land, they have won 7 out of 55 games. I looked it up. And all of the games in series, the one series that they won, and all of the games that they won have been against OCE and APAC. So it's just, unfortunately, objectively, whether you love them or hate them, it's really tough to rate them any higher than last right now, unless you feel some type of way about Elevate. And that's fair. But I think 15 would be the highest you could probably ever go with Limitless. Other than that, I think it's going to be. I don't know. Maybe 14 or 13 if you want to like put the OCE boys down there that level. But I just think that right now it's tough for me to go against basically everyone else. So I have Limitless at 16 just for that reason.
No, I think that's totally fair. I don't think SSA have shown us anything yet that tells us that they should be higher up. I think putting them at 15 would be a hot take, even against like APAC. So, but that's why my number 15 is Elevate. This is a different Elevate team, not the same team that represented Elevate in previous lands. And everybody's favorite guy, Kevin. I keep hearing all about this Kevin guy and how funny he is. Well, he's going to be at LAN, so he's got a chance to showcase some of his humor. Unfortunately, humor doesn't get you wins in Rocket League.
I don't know.
And
I might not have better takes
Elevate
than Johnny.
do something. LCT, Sphinx, and Kevin. I'm curious to see how they do, but can't be any higher than 15 for me.
Have you not seen anything from Kevin? Like just in a video or?
I'll be honest, Corelli, I have not. I've heard a lot about Kevin.
Okay. Well, no, it's okay. I mean, you don't have to know that. He was in a Sunless Con video. I believe it was a Sunless Con video. And he's just a character. He's just a character. Like he's just a goofy guy.
That's good. We need the characters.
No, he's a great character. Like he's going to be great if we can get an interview. He's a goofy dude. Seems to have some good vibes. I mean, obviously I don't know him personally. I just know him from the one video. But good dude. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see if we can get him on the mic. The Bismillah flick, yeah, of course, yeah. So you know, he's going to be fun to watch. I think I also have Elevate at 15. I think that's pretty obvious for now. Remember, this is for just the major, so we're only doing teams that are going for the major, just for the record, before people start going crazy.
Yep.
But I think again, pretty tough for me to go against that for now. Against like 15 or higher or lower. I think you brought a good point. It's just a different team than the Elevate team we've seen before. So I'd rather be wrong and them have a bunch of upsets than to just randomly say, oh, this time they're going to do it and be right. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I do.
All right.
Well, who's your 14?
Pioneers.
Okay.
And I don't want to say anything about them. I don't want to say anything yet. So I'm just going to leave at 14 for now. You go 14.
My 14 is also Pioneers.
Okay.
The bottom part of this, I think, was pretty obvious. Pioneers. I will say I kind of wanted to be cheeky with this team, but they're not even the best team going to the major out of their region. So I do believe that Amphis and Fiber have and Scrub, honestly, I think they have like the chance to really play spoiler for a lot of these teams. And like OCE have shown that before, like they can play teams close. It's just actually getting wins. And so Pioneers got to see it from them. I like these 3 players, but I want to see more.
I want to see more. And that's why I'd like to go into the next pick so that I can say something.
Go for it.
My next pick is let me make sure I did this right. Yes, next pick is Power at 13. Here's the thing. I'd like to talk about this. I'm going to spend the majority of tonight talking about this as I have already. I think that when you look at history of RLCS, because remember, we like talking about history. We're learning about history. The thing is, OC has been here since Season 3. This region has not had a winning LAN yet. A positive LAN yet. They've had teams that have positive or even, but they have not had a positive LAN. In the last, I don't know, all of the open era, so however many LANs that is, the NA4 seed has almost always, except for one LAN, which was Sweden, outperformed OCE at every single RLCS LAN in the open era.
Wow.
And I think that power is great. I do. I think that OCE has been improving. I do. I think that power has a very convincing start to their season with what they've done in OCE. But they have not given me a reason to put them any higher. I'm sorry. You have to have some consistency. And you have to win. You do. You have to win. You have to win on LAN. It's tough, and that's really the only way that any of these teams from power and below on my list so far are ever going to get anything higher than where they're at now, because unfortunately their regions are just not competitive enough. And so if you're not winning on LAN, which they're not, just historically, then, I mean, how can I put them any higher? I feel like it'd be disrespectful for the teams that have actually been performing and actually winning and sometimes finishing top 8. Now, granted, I still think the teams from, 12 to 10 or so are, not favorites. But as the way it's been going, it's been pretty much always been OCE suffering and not doing well at majors. So, again, I rather just go with what's been happening and what's happened in every single LAN and every single time that OCEs look good, 3-0ing G2 in Rotterdam and then not making it on a Swiss. I don't know. It's just tough for me to give them any benefit of the doubt when they haven't given me a reason to yet. Internationally.
No, I completely agree with you. I think that it's tough to say anything from power. Do it once. Like, make a top 8 OCE. Just a top 8. I'm not even asking you to get anything like crazy, like a top 4. I don't think, just a top 8. Is that hard? Is that impossible for OCE out of Swiss? I think it might be. So power are also in my spot. I agree with everything that you said, Corelli, about power. I don't have anything more to add to that.
And by the way, I think power is a good team. They have been smoking OCE. They're amazing.
They look good.
They're
They look
great.
great.
It's not that I think that they're bad. It's just that when it comes to international lands, something happens and OCE can't translate. Maybe this is the team. Maybe it is. Maybe this is the team that does it. But I mean, how many times have we heard this from OCE teams? How many times where it's like, this is the team. This is the combination of players that's gonna lead to at least a top 8 or something.
Every time.
It's not every time, but it's been multiple times.
It's every time.
It's been multiple times, and it's been enough times where like I'm just like I'm sorry, I just can't believe it. And so I rather be wrong here and wrong until I'm not wrong.
I'll never forget when my boy Scrub beat Monkey Moon in Swiss in Los Angeles. Okay, I'll never forget that. We casted that series, and they're good for one. They're good for one series, and that's it. Do more than one series, and then maybe OCE will be higher on these lists.
All right, what's your 12? Here's where it gets interesting.
This is where I think it might get interesting. Okay. So I'm not going to lie, Corelli. These major rankings outside of 13 through 16, very difficult for me to think about, especially because we have a bunch of new rosters, right? It's hard to tell who's going to perform, who's not going to perform outside of a couple of teams that will. And so, in this area, I'm looking at some NA and EU
This is
seeds.
the biggest freak. I'm getting edged. Just tell me, man.
Okay. I'll tell you. That's fine. My number 12 is Luminosity. Now, some might call me a hater.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a lot of faith in Luminosity. I am not one of those people. Now I'm going to tell you something. I love this team, okay? I love all three of them. I love them to death, okay? I hope that Raw Greg, please don't take this personally. It's not you, it's me. It really is me. Here's the thing. I don't think Luminosity's playstyle is going to work on LAN. I think Luminosity will do fine against teams like Complexity. I think they'll do fine against OCE. I think they'll do fine against the bottom teams, right? I think they're going to struggle when it comes to the European teams who are so aggressive, and it's so hard to actually get them off their routes. Like, I don't know. I just don't think that LG's play style is going to work on LAN. So they fall really low in the power ranking for me. I want them to prove me wrong. I want Luminosity to go out there and smack everybody and make me look like an absolute dunce for putting them at 12th. So it's just, when I look at every other team, I think about their play styles. I think about LG is like, what is the one thing about LG's play style that makes them successful? And it's when Reddles is downfield getting demos and Magic Bear and Cheese are able to work the field. But I do not think that they're going to have that kind of space. I don't think they're going to have that kind of time. And I think that they are going to find it difficult to play that style where the counterattacks can kill other teams. I think it will work against some teams, but I think that they will get caught. Swiss will weed that out, especially when they go up against some of the tougher crop. And in their own region, you know, they haven't had that much success against the teams above, like G2 and Gen G are teams that I don't even think Luminosity really played Gen G that much, if at all. But they definitely weren't able to get those wins. They weren't convincing enough in their own region for me to have them above almost every other team that is in the region. So it was either LG or one other team that I was thinking about for number 12. But that's what I'm doing to your boys, Corelli. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I get it. I understand. I get the logic. I see where you're coming from. I know what you're saying. I don't like it, but I know what you're saying. I've got more. I've got I've got more to say on that, but
okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I got OG at 12. I got OG at 12. Here's the thing for me. All right. I get it. I said this before. I said this at the beginning of my stream. I said, I understand. I know that OG, especially recently, beat LG. I understand LG had a weaker run. I get it. I get that. I think that in every moment, except for maybe the Omelet series, LG passed with flying colors. They took down basically everyone that was below them. And a lot of them were 3-0. And LG had a helping hand in that. They definitely should have won some series that they lost. They should have beaten Space Station. They didn't. They didn't. They should have beaten them. They were better than them in that best of 5. They choked it. In Regional 1, they looked promising against G2. That's about as good as you can get for everyone else except for Gen G. I feel like when you look at past performances from at least Magic Bear and Reddles, especially in the spring, they stepped it up on LAN, especially Magic Bear. Magic Bear looked fantastic on LAN previously. So you have 2/3 of the core still intact here. I think Cheese, this is going to be a big test for Cheese. Big test for Cheese. But just going back to OG, because I'm talking about OG here. My issue with OG is that they did well. Top 8 twice. That's fantastic. Even beat LG head-to-head in the final regional. I'm sorry, man, but I don't care what anyone says. If we're not cutting slack for LG, I'm not cutting slack for OG. They didn't play well in that first regional. That was an embarrassing first impressions from the team. And yeah, they've been ramping it up the last 2 regionals, but if anything, they're 1-1 against LG. LG beat them more convincingly than they beat LG. So take that for what it's worth. If you really want to go head-to-head, I don't really like comparing teams head-to-head on a power ranking, but and I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of OG. I've said from the beginning I'm not really sure if I like the way that OG plays. And I think that maybe they have the edge of experience over LG, but I think that LG is going to play better. I think that LG is going to have a more I think they're going to catch people off guard, and I think that people aren't going to give them the credit that they deserve for beating teams that were in front of them, and they did that throughout this split. But I don't know. I don't like OG at all, personally, play style wise. I think that they've done well recently, but I've never really liked it.
The thing is it's JNAPs on LAN. So like that's got to give him some points. Like if you're going to give credit to how Magic Bear has played on LAN, then like JNAPs has to be given those same things. And OG also got better as the split went on. Like sure, they missed qualifier 1, which is not good. And like I don't want us to feel like we're splitting hairs here, but they did get 2 top 4s. And granted, they lost to Luminosity in the semifinals in Open Qualifier 2, but then they beat Luminosity in the quarterfinals and played Gen G, not the closest. It went 6 games, but still pretty decent against Gen G in a split where not a lot of other teams were really playing Gen G that close. I think that OG got a little better as time went on. This is why OG are in my 11 spot, by the way.
Okay.
Because I don't have much more faith in them, but I do think that you have to give the LAN experience nod to Noli, JNAPS, and Com because they do have it. And
yeah,
I'm not going to knock my positioning isn't based on LAN experience because historically, players that make their LAN debut, so it doesn't really affect it that much. I don't think. Usually, good players play well on LAN. Even if they're new. So I'm not giving that too much stock, but I do think that these are 2 of the weaker teams out of the 4 other regions that we're talking about here. Just didn't see enough from them overall. And when you look at the quality of play of other teams above them, it's really hard to make the argument for either OG or LG to be higher on this list right now. They're in prove it mode.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. I think you're splitting hairs between the 2 anyways. I mean, if you don't like OG being under LG, I think most people would agree that the highest you could go is 1 above that, like to like flip them basically. So I mean, I don't know. I like I said, I don't. The big thing for LG is getting over the nerves or the whatever was in their head, especially in the last regional. If they don't get over that, then I think they're in trouble. I said it earlier on my stream, but if that continues for LG, they're going to have a really, really bad major. But if they feel comfortable, if they come into matches feeling comfortable, if they feel like they belong, if they can keep up with pace of play, I think LG is going to really impress people. But I think OG is going to perform decently fine. But I think both these teams will probably finish similar anyways. So, like you said, we're kind of splitting hairs on them. I don't really know if it matters that much when it comes to something like that. So, all right.
Yeah, so who's your 11?
LG.
Yep. I thought so. Okay.
Cool. Number 10.
All you.
Complexity. For me.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Explain.
A good split from Complexity. I think they're strong. Unfortunately, you have your big brother in Furia. Complexity did win a regional. Furia won the other 2. I think that Complexity is a team that I think probably made an upgrade and have proven to have that pay off. It just sucks that Furia is in SAM again. Otherwise, I think they'd probably be owning the region. So I think these guys are going to be super, super competitive when it comes to the likes of, teams like I mean, I think that Complexity could go the distance with Vitality again, as they did before. I think that Complexity is going to be a team that is going to be right in the middle of the mix when it comes to like the upper teams, which I think is around 8 to 10 is a fair spot to put them. So I feel like Complexity, they're the little brother to Furia right now, but I do think that they've had a great split. I've really enjoyed watching them in their regionals, and I think that they will be pretty competitive come this major.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They're going to be competitive. It was a 3-horse race in South America because right next to Complexity is Ninjas in Pajamas, and they looked really strong. It sucks that we don't get to see all 3 of them on LAN, but I don't hate the Complexity pick. It's hard to argue them really much higher, especially since internationally, while sure they've looked great in South America, internationally, this team still feels like a downgrade from AJG. I've been watching Dorito. I think Dorito has looked fine in South America. I don't think he's like he's not like the leading guy on complexity, right? Not saying that that was expected of him. Obviously, Raze Bull and CRR, world-class talents. They're going to be difficult to beat for getting top honors all the time. But I don't believe in Dorito as much as I believed in AJG on land. So
Oh, on land. Okay.
I also have complexity at number 10.
Oh God.
I like, based off of what I saw from them, I didn't feel comfortable putting them higher. I thought about putting them one higher, but I wanted to give the nod to this team because I watched some of their games at number 9, and I was like, oh God, this team is really good. So, and like complexity have looked good for sure, but the feeling I got when I was watching this other team, I just couldn't put them above them.
Fair enough. It seems like chat's agreeing with you too. That's fair. Funny, we had different opinions on the player, but same ranking. So here we are.
Love that. Lots to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go next. Rule 1 at 9 for me.
Okay.
I think that these Mina guys, they're going to be good, man. Rule 1 went to every single final, lost every single final to Falcons. I think that Rule 1, I don't know. I debated putting them lower, personally. I didn't love the 9, but there's just something about when they play Falcons that I really felt like they just were not keeping up with the pace at times, and that worries me because, I think a lot of people are putting Falcons pretty high on their lists. And so if Rule 1's struggling to keep up with that, then I just feel like oh fuck, I can't remember what it's called. But like, when you look at Rule 1 and the way that things have been going on in MENA, and you try and like translate that into other regions, it feels like they'll get beat up by like higher level NA or EU teams right now. So I simply think it comes down to pace of play, because you look at Falcons. I mean, the Falcons are literally pulling up from like midfield and taking shots, and like Rule 1's just like watching them go in. There's so many times I'm watching these finals and I'm like, why is no one there? Like, why are Falcons having a free shot on net? And I just feel like Rule 1 gets so stretched out by Falcons. And so I feel like Rule 1's going to struggle with pace of play. That's my take, because I feel like they're going to struggle with pace of play when it comes to the higher level teams, because they've been struggling against Falcons.
Yeah, I feel similarly with Rule 1, which is why they are my number 9.
Oh my God.
I know. I feel like our top 8 might be different, or maybe it won't. But pretty much exactly what you said. Falcons kind of make them look like mincemeat a little bit. And further on your point is, if they're not able to challenge the midfield because they are losing pace of play, well, then how's that going to fare when you're playing against Furia, Gen G, G2, even Gentlemates? Gentlemates play extremely aggressive ball. And if you get starved out by them and they're taking, you don't want Juicy hitting free passes to Seiko from the midfield. That's not going to end well for you. And so if that is a struggle, and I agree with you that is something that they do struggle with Falcons, and that's the only team I think you can really compare them to in MENA, because they pretty much crushed everybody else.
Yep.
The only other team that played them tightly were Twisted Minds. 2 times they played each other and it went to match point. 1 time in Swiss in qualifier 2, I believe, was 5 games in Swiss. And then in the final open qualifier in the single elimination, they won in 7 games in the semifinals. So, and watching Twisted Minds play, they're definitely a step below everybody else, and certainly a step below most of these major teams. So Rule 1 at number 9, which is pretty high up considering who they're above. The MENA 2 spot has come a long way, and that team is no bunch of slouches. I won't be surprised if Naupo has like a renaissance come Copenhagen.
Yeah,
that wouldn't shock me at all. But going in, seeing how they played in the regionals, hard to put them any higher.
And granted, because they seem like for the most part we're finishing, if not every part, we're finishing below Falcons during Swiss. They did end up having, I think, the harder side of the bracket a lot of times, because they would have to go up against either Twisted Minds. I think they got pushed to the brink by Fearless one time. if I'm remembering correctly. And then I think you said it. They played Twisted Minds another time. I think Twisted Minds also played Falcons one time as well. But it doesn't matter. The point being is that, yeah, I don't know. I considered putting Rule 1 lower. I could swap them with Complexity if I really thought about it more. But
I think that's fair.
they're good.
Yeah.
They're definitely they're good. They're good enough. They're good enough to be there. They're good enough to be competitive. But I don't know. The more I talk about it, the more I feel like I like Complexity more. But but yeah. Okay. Next team for me is the Mates, Gentle Mates.
Okay.
Gentle Mates at 8. First European team on the list at 8. Gentle Mates. This was a team I felt like started off hot, and then they've been fine ever since, right? They went 3-0 in Swiss, I believe, on their first round, where they beat BDS, and that's super crucial because then they would basically get knocked out by BDS, I think, every other time. And it just seems like they could never figure BDS out ever again. I believe it was when they played. Yeah, they lose to BDS in qualifier 2, and then I believe in qualifier 3 they also get knocked out with BDS. I have to check again. Yeah, they get 4-1 in qualifier 2, 4-0 in BDS. 4-0 by BDS in qualifier 3. Otherwise, Gentle Mates did well. I mean, they beat most of the teams that they were supposed to. I think they dropped the games to teams like Moist, if I have that right. And then the one time they went to round 5, the two teams that they did lose to, they lost to, it was K-Corp and Oxygen. And Oxygen, was playing a lot better, like they should have. So, they were fine. Otherwise, they beat like Caliente forward. Then they had that, howler of a top Cougar series. But I don't know. They're good, and they're good enough to be an 8. But I would say I've been seeing a lot of people in some discourse having them lower. I've seen some people saying higher. But I think Gentle Mates will be very competitive, and I think they're going to be good enough to push pretty deep in these tournaments. I just think that they've run into a brick wall with BDS ever since the one win, and since then it seems like there's been a gap between them and the other top teams.
Well, Corelli, I also have Gentle Mates at number 8. Not too many notes besides what you said, especially in their last qualifier. They lost 0-3 to Moist, and then the field that they beat, not that impressive for a major team. Forward, top Cougars, Oxygen being the most impressive win, and then you get trounced by BDS in quarterfinals. Unlucky matchup, maybe, but 4-0. I mean, that BDS series was, 2 OTs and then 2 1-goal games. Very close for sure, but I think, that series in particular really, for me, established BDS as the second best team in Europe. If it wasn't already clear by that point. So for Gentle Mates, I feel like consistency is the biggest issue. I'm worried about Juicy on LAN. Juicy and Seiko linking up in particular. They tended to, or at least when I got to watch them, seemed to be tying each other up. Or not tying each other up, but just not on the same page. I thought Itachi's looked pretty consistent throughout, but like when they're aggressive and they're on and Juicy's hitting passes, that team is disgusting. They might be number 8, but I definitely think a dark horse candidate to go deep in the tournament.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel like
they're consistent.
I feel like a lot of people feel like it's going to come down to Juicy and how his performance plays out. Because I think everyone trusts Seiko, and we know what we're getting from Itachi, and we've seen Juicy on LAN before, but I think a lot.
He can do it.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I mean?
Is like he's good. I mean, he looked great in the first regional too. I mean, I was really impressed with. I was like, oh man, was it just like needing better or like a different team, like different teammates or better teammates or whatever it is for Juicy? Maybe that was the case. It's been okay since. It's been fine. He has been playing poor, but it hasn't been the same, in my opinion, the last couple of regionals, and maybe that's why they can't get over the hump of BDS. So I don't know, but what's your 7?
Okay, my 7 is it's going to be Falcons.
Okay.
So I feel like I have Falcons a little lower than most people do. And I think it's totally fair to put Falcons higher if you so choose. And I have big belief in the Twins
_crates
and TRK. I think they are all world-class players. I just think what I saw recently
Crates, thanks
from
for the
other
sub.
teams
Thank you, man.
is a little bit better. I think this top 7 is ridiculous. Like the teams that we haven't ranked yet, plus Falcons, like I think it's pretty hard. I think like besides number 1 and maybe even number 2, you could really switch places here and have an argument for why your ranking is better. But I got Falcons at 7. I think that other teams look just as good as they do. And something that I am curious to see from Falcons is, can they come out and start strong in their opening matches? And if they do that, then they could probably roll through pretty good. But I feel like Falcons need early confidence in order for them to go deep. There's something with Mina and Sam that I've noticed is that like confidence is such a huge factor for these regions when they go on to land. And like if one series is bad, the mental gets to you. I don't know if Falcons will figure that out if they don't start strong. I think the teams I have above them, I believe in their mental a little better. Like I said, the gap is not wide between these teams. But for me, Falcons, number 7, they absolutely dominated their region. They look insane, and consistently beating Rule 1 and making Rule 1 look a little slouchy. That's impressive for sure. But there's a lot of other teams that are also making other teams look like slouches. So Falcons, my number 7.
Okay. That's lower than I thought, honestly, and I like it. I have Gen G at 7. For kind of obvious reasons. I feel like I'm making space for the other top teams from other regions, basically. But I feel like Gen G and Gentlemates are going to be pretty close to each other. I think Gen G's a good team. They were the only team to, actually beat G2 twice, which was big. But I think otherwise they've been kind of putting along. I mean, you're into the top, 7 now, so I feel like this is a decent spot for Gen G. And I think that they'll probably be trading blows with the team above them and below them as far as placement goes. And I feel like Gen G will be able to be semi-competitive with the top of this list, but I think that's probably as much as I can give them. I do think that the top of the list is pretty top-heavy. So this is one of those picks this was one of my last picks that I did because I didn't really know where to put them. And I feel like this is kind of where I landed. So Gen G at 7 for me.
Interesting. I know someone in my chat was putting question marks when you had Gen G at 7, but I have Gen G at 6.
Okay.
I thought Gen G got better as the split went on. Qualifier 2, it was kind of a seesaw, actually. Sorry. I'm thinking of a different team that got better over time, because Gen G, it didn't get much better than it could have. I think the only thing you were hoping for them out of qualifier 1 was that they played G2 tighter in grand finals, but they got smashed and looked awful in that series after smashing everybody else in the tournament. And then qualifier 3 comes around and the real Gen G comes out. I'm like, there's this team with First Killer on it. Okay, now we're cooking with this team. But still, it doesn't get you any better than 6. You struggled in a region that I think a lot of people have been pining after. I'll say this. North America, over the course of the split, got better. Qualifier 1 was awful. Definitely G League level play. Back to NBA level play by qualifier 3. But still, you're still seeing these other teams, I think, playing more consistently. I think they look insanely dangerous, not just individually, but also together as a unit. And to me, the individual parts that combine for all the teams that are above Gen G are greater than Gen G right now for me. Would not be surprised for Gen G to make a deep run. I feel that way about my top 7 the whole way through. Even top 8, I said Gentlemates, I wouldn't be surprised, but I think they're the biggest dark horse out of all of them. Gen G, I could definitely see First Killer and company getting it done. It comes down to confidence. This is another team confidence thing, right? Abjack, First Killer, Chronic. First Killer always performs. Like, besides Worlds. Worlds was the only time First Killer did not perform. I fully expect First Killer to be on form this LAN. It's just that the field is so strong. It's not like First Killer is so far above like that many people that it puts Gen G higher on this list,
I do agree with that. I think the judging phase off of what was basically a chalk team walking into that championship. It wasn't, or I should say, first killer off of that is a little unfair. But I agree. Yeah, I think I do like first killer a lot, and I think that Genji will be pretty good. Which is why I have them. I mean, you have 6, I have 7. What's the difference? I mean, it's in the same spot generally. I think both of the picks are fine in my opinion. I see where your bias lies, though, Jorby, because I have Furia at 6.
That's a pretty good placement.
I think it's pretty good. I love watching Furia.
I love it.
I loved watching them.
They're so fun, aren't
Drafinho, I mean, dude, Drafinho, amazing player. I mean, we knew he was an amazing player.
He's
but
ridiculous.
Man, I mean, just so damn good. And I felt like pace was there, which is a big thing I look for in teams. Pace was there from Furia, of course. It's a South American team. And I feel like we are getting closer and closer to having like 4 regions really fight for the top. I mean, I know Europe's on top right now, but Furia and even Complexity. And I feel like some people might look at this and say, well, wow, that's a pretty big gap between Furia and Complexity for them basically playing each other almost every time in the finals. Like, I just feel like Furia, they got it, man. Like, they just, everything that they've done with those players, it seems like everyone's comfortable and in the right spot, and it shows. I mean, they crushed Sam. So it's not even like, you're just making this up, right? I mean, they crushed it. 2 out of the 3 regionals, Furia won, the other one going to Complexity. I feel like Furia is going to surprise people because I'm a big Sam fan. I've been a big believer in Sam for a very long time. I feel like they get written off because there are maybe other people talking about Mina, and Mina's also fantastic. But I just feel like Furia and this beautiful Sam play style that they've really cultivated over the last couple of seasons is going to pay off. It has paid off in the past. And while it's been rocky in their NA stint, I think they get what they missed out in NA was just the confidence because we knew the skill was there. Now they walk into a major with full confidence. And I feel really good about Furia mentally and the skill that we saw in this last split.
Corelli, I love each and every single word that just came out of your mouth. That's so beautiful. And that's why my number 5 is G2. I have G2 at number 5. No, that's not an error. No, that's not a clerical mistake.
Jorby.
That's G2 at number 5. All right, G2 look incredible. G2 are going to compete for the championship. They're gonna make it, okay, to the top 8.
I agree.
There's just no way that they don't, all right? But I am just so tickled by the gameplay that I've seen from the teams above them. G2 aren't at 5 because they are worse than these other teams. They're at 5 because those other teams are better. Now, you could say, Jorby, that's semantics, and that's ridiculous. And you know what I'm going to say? You're absolutely right. Do I care? No, because, Corelli, one thing that you said earlier, what was it? Is that everyone talks about Mina. That's right. Everyone always yap about Mina, how great Mina is. No one ever talks about South America, despite them having the most depth that they've ever had. And if anybody actually watched Furia play, then you would know that this team is one of the best teams that are going to grace the pitch in Copenhagen. They look that good. Drafinho, Lost, and Yan are those guys. I know that we're talking about G2 right now. Like, G2 are a great team, okay? But I think that I really do think that there are 3 European teams and 1 South American team that are better than G2 in this major. G2 number 5.
Wow.
Look, G2 just weren't tested for like 2.5 qualifiers. I'm sorry. Like, what do you want me to say? Get Danmo Atomic on land. They're going to be great. Like, it's not like they're going to place poorly. Everyone's spamming don't whiff it bruz and whoos and whoa in my chat. And you guys think that this is like an absolute sin. I didn't rank them 14th. Like, they're 5th, okay? There are 3 European teams ahead of them. Come on now. And if I put G2 where everyone else is putting G2, Corelli and I list would be the same.
No,
and that would be
don't answer the haters, man. Don't answer the haters.
You know what? You don't got to hear the whoas, do you? I do.
Fair enough.
But that's my number 5, G2.
Okay. My 5 is probably obvious, and I realize now contradicts what I just said, but I do feel like these teams are pretty even. I have Falcons at 5. I'm unsure about Rule 1. Not because I think Rule 1 are bad. I just kind of look at the field and I say, what am I getting from Rule 1? I don't know. I feel like I know exactly what I'm going to get from Falcons this time around. And at least knowing how they played against Rule 1, because that's who they played in every single one of the finals, I feel like Falcons, I talked about it, they are pulling up from the logo, man, and they are letting it rip. I have never seen so many long-range shots come out from Falcons, which has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but it's just something that every time I watch them, they're just like, I swear to God, pulling up from the midline, just going crazy from it, and they're sniping the corners. And I feel like Falcons' pace is something that people aren't going to give credit for. I think MENA's a very fast region, and I think that Falcons are gonna do pretty well. I think that they're gonna be top 8 at least, but I do feel like Falcons and MENA have, I should say, Falcons and Rule 1 have something cooking over there. The problem is that the depth of that region isn't to the same degree, in my opinion. I know we had that big discussion on First Touch about, like, you know, Johnny was really trying to defend Falcons, and, you know, everyone kind of agreed that, you know, there are deeper regions than where Falcons play, but Falcons are still a great team, and that's kind of where I'm putting Falcons right now, is that I feel like they're the cream of the crop when it comes to MENA, and I think they're on par with, like, a Furia and a Gen G, personally, from different regions if we want to do that. And I feel like Falcons are a little bit better than your 7, because I think last season they didn't do all that great, but
maybe Gen G below Falcons is what I would have gone. I considered that, but
sure. No, don't back down. I think it's fine. I
not
think
backing down.
Falcons
I'm
at
not
7's
changing
fine.
I'm just saying you could make that argument. I thought about it.
Yeah, but I really do like Falcons team. And remember, Falcons is basically what Rule 1 was last season. So I mean, you know, they basically switched. So it's not the same Falcons that you had before for the people who haven't been watching MENA. But they are a ton of fun to watch, and I think that they'll be very similar to some of the top EU teams, which is why I think a lot of teams are rating them so high, is that's the expectation. So that's my expectation of them as well. So I have them 5.
You ready for my number 4?
I swear to God, if you say K-Corp, I'm turning off the stream.
I'm bold, not an idiot.
Okay.
All right. My number 4 is Vitality. On that note.
Okay.
Look, Vitality clearly got the Farah debuff, and that was clear in the first 2 regionals. A bunch of other teams in Europe make changes. We talked about this in our previous power rankings in Europe, but this team, it's not that they have taken a step back, maybe a half step back. Every other team took 2 steps forward. The difference wasn't huge between Vitality and the top of the field when they were winning every single series, every single tournament. It was there. It wasn't that big. In fact, it only took 1 roster rotation for K-Corp to get the 1-up and just go on and do what Vitality did in spring and get the 3-peat. And now K-Corp, I mean, it's their major to lose, in my opinion. You know, they're the best. They look like the best team in the world. Vitality, they started to look better. They looked a lot better come Regional 3. You know, they played K-Corp the best that they had played them all split. And I think that was really promising for them. But that being said, I do think there is a clear difference between 2 other teams in their region. And I think a team from another region, like Corelli, we keep saying it, but like we're talking all this NA versus EU talk, this split. And I feel like the real meal is South America versus MENA. I think that is so interesting. And I want Furia Falcons in a best of 7 so badly. But I really think that that MENA and South America, their top teams, could really compete for the top spot. And obviously, there is, you know, I admit a little bit of bias. Okay,
That's okay.
Little bit.
It's
but
your
if
power
you watch
ranking.
Furia play, you want to talk about pace of play. Like, I'll wait for it. I won't get too far into it. We're not at the team yet.
We'll have to
Vitality
wait for
my number 4.
Okay. We'll have to wait for your number 1 to really hear you pop off here. My 4 is Gamers 2, G2, and that's about as high as I would really comfortably put them. I think G2, it had a great split. Even losing to Gen G, it's fine. Good split from G2. Comfortable pick here at 4. I think I toyed with the idea of putting them higher. I toyed with it, but I just feel like for the same reasons that I talked about for OCE, it's the same reasons I'm going to bring up for NA on a smaller time scale, is that I just feel like right now it's tough for me to go with NA on anything. And I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy for things to change. You know, I'm open to that, but I just feel like right now NA doesn't have the edge. They don't have the edge right now. And I am waiting for that day to happen. Now, if G2 wins this thing, which I think they can, for the record, I think G2 can win this major, I will be right next to T-Bates cheering them on. Right? Like, this isn't like hate or anything like that. It just, on the whole, it's tough for me to vote for an NA team right now, even if G2 had a fantastic split, great split, excellent split, almost perfect split. But I can't go any higher. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I'm sorry for all the G2 fans. It just feels like my top 3 teams are better than G2 in my opinion. So
who's your number 3?
My 3 is Vitality.
Okay. Definitely expected that.
Yeah, I mean, G2 was my 4, 3 is Vitality, and that's, I mean, yeah, I think that they've been oddly on a downtrend, but that's only because they were at the top. So you can only go one direction at that point. So,
yep.
All right, let me have it. What's 3?
My 3 is Furia.
There it is. There they are.
Furia, number 3, baby. That's right. Look, this team looks absolutely insane. All right. And I have followed this team for a long time, back when it was only Yan. Yan's the only remaining player on the team I initially became a fan of, back when they were Yan, Kaio, and Card, back when they were scoring on the iciest team in the RLCS at the World Championship in the quarterfinals. The only team that could take them down was BDS at the time. You know, the world champions after that World Championship. So, Furia look absolutely insane. To me, you talked about Drafinho. Great, because he's amazing. Drafinho is actually an incredible player. But to me, the biggest story of Furia is Lost. Lost started with this team in North America. You move this kid from South America into the North American gauntlet, way different than South America, and he struggles. He's double committing. He's pre-jumping. He's nervous. He's uncomfortable. And he just looked bad. He cost Furia so many games when they were in North America because he was still getting used to the field. Then they go through the rest of the season. They move back to South America. You're watching Lost now. Now, this was happening in the regionals before they went to Boston, where Lost was starting to get it figured out. He was double committing less. He was actually very effective in the rotation. And this kid is a mechanical maniac. All 3 of these kids are. They are one of the best teams in the world. Yes, they are better than G2. I think they look better than G2. They absolutely clapped this region. Complexity were made to look like second-rate teams in qualifier 2 and 3. And that is not a bad team. Furia made them look small. They are huge. Lost has had one of the best improvement arcs in the RLCS out of any other player going to the major in Copenhagen. Furia are this good. I am not memeing. I am not biasing. I am telling you 100% this team is this good. People think I'm crazy now. You're going your whoos. You're going your don't whiff it's. I don't care. All right. Y'all going to learn this split. This is Fury. This is Furia. They're going to show why I have them power ranked so high. I'm not just blowing smoke out of my asshole, okay? There might be smoke coming out of it, but that don't mean that I ain't spitting facts right now. Furia, number 3. And that's all I got to say.
My chat is quacking up a damn storm right now. Joey, I love it. I love that you did that. Because not only did our list not match, but I think that you could be right. You could be onto something. Now, of course, Fury's got to go through, Iron Man, a.k.a. Reddles, first round. But we'll see. If they can get through LG, that's a good start.
Oh, I think they're going to smash LG. I'm sorry, Corelli.
Well, we'll see. All right. So my number 2, and then obviously my number 1. I think it's pretty obvious what I have. I'm assuming you have the same, but maybe not.
Yes.
I got BDS and K Corp. I don't really care about talking about BDS. I think they're really good.
They're there.
They're there. K Corp is the best team in the world, hands down, and it's not even close. Okay,
100%.
I'm saying it. It's not even close. Do you hear that, chat? It's not even close. I think K Corp's the best team in the world, and it's not even close.
Even my Furia fandom, and I will say it's not close at all.
I think you're getting minimum 2 lands from K Corp this year. Minimum 2. I think they're that good right now. I think they're that good. And I feel like not only are they the best team because they're winning the most, but I think they're the best team because they're showing that they have the skill to be the best team, or that the skill that they possess is higher than the other teams. One thing that I really like about K-Corp's play that I feel like isn't something that they made themselves, but the little, I know CJ was pointing it out a lot, is the little a little peekaboo strat is what I keep calling it, where they have one guy air dribble and another guy instantly follow up behind it, and the guy on the air dribble goes up front of the ball for the demo, and the guy behind him will then just shoot the ball with the guy as a linebacker in front. I really like that play from K-Corp. They do it so much. Every single caster that casts them points it out. And I think they do it the most. I don't think that they didn't invent it or anything, but it is such a great strategy to open up space. And I feel like they're the only team that's consistently doing that. And I feel like it is a small thing, but it has opened up the game for K-Corp in ways that other strats don't. And I feel like K-Corp has mastered that, and it's a part of the game. I'm not saying it's the whole thing, but that little strat has propelled them into what I think is into the best team in the world, and it's not even close type of talk.
Dude, who impresses me so much is Rise. Like, Vatira obviously making it to the most championship Sundays, the most grand finals, all of this. Him and Monkey Moon competing for who's had the best open air. I think Monkey Moon still owns that, but Vatira is very, very quickly making the argument for himself, and especially now that Zen took all of the talking back when spring came around. And all of a sudden, it was Zen easily over Vatira. Vatira's changing that conversation now because he's got the better team. He brought the ice to K-Corp. I don't understand how Rise, like some people just have it. Some people just have the it factor, Corelli. Rise is one of those players. We talked about Turbo in the old era being the guy with the it factor. Didn't matter what team you put him on. That team was going deep. For some reason, Turbo just had it in him. That dude was in every single championship. Rise is the same guy, dude. Like, I don't understand how he's so good. And every time he is in a clutch situation, he clutches up. It's comical how often Rise clutches up. And like, that's the reason why, even though BDS have taken K-Corp to 7 games a couple of times, why do you think K-Corp come out on top? Rise is in the center of that equation. It is impossible to pick anybody else to be at the top. I mean, K-Corp did the three-peat. They did the thing. Like, I will be shocked if they do not win this major, because I'm on your train, man. Unless we see some changes from teams, or BDS, like BDS, realistically, the only team I feel like can beat them, and even then, I on land, Monkey Moon on land, that's a tough beat. It might be tough, but I would pick K-Corp still. So
I think it's this. For me, it's this. If EU is really as good as they claim to be, then K-Corp just won 3 times in a row in the most competitive league against the best teams in the world. There's no room for error for K-Corp at this point. If they're that good, if EU is that good, which I do think that EU is pretty good. I don't know how far I want to go with that, but I do think EU is pretty good, and definitely the deepest and the strongest. K-Corp won 3 times in a row. And I feel like that's gotta count for something. And I feel like if you're competing and you're winning consistently at the highest level in the most competitive league, then you absolutely have to be the number 1 team. No questions asked. And that's why I keep saying it's not even close. Yeah, they had a couple close series. Even if they lost those series, I'd still be sitting here telling you the same thing. It's not even close. K-Corp is the best team. Vatira will have multiple rings at the end of his career. And this is I think this is the start of it. This is the start for him. So I especially for world championships. But I just think that, and it's not that K-Corp is going to absolutely win, but they are, on paper, the best team, hands down. There is no argument about that. There just can't be. I'm sorry. I don't know what the argument against that is. Even for the other teams that three-peated, they're not in as competitive leagues. And the second most competitive league, which could arguably be SAM, but I think most people will say NA, G2 didn't even win it 3 out of 3 times. So for me, it's clear as day. And I think it is K-Corp and then you can talk about everyone else in any other order, and I would agree. But as long as you have K Corp on top, you're speaking the truth at this point.
I 100% agree with you, Corelli. Carmine Corp are that team. Europe, they're the best region, and if you're beating everybody in Europe, then you're the best team in the world. No comment after that.
Yep.
Well, I was worried. I was really, really worried when we got to number 8, Corelli, but I knew you didn't have Fury at number 3, so I knew it was going to get spicy at some point. That would have been wild to me if you had Furia even at 4. But most people I've seen have Furia highest 5, lowest like 7 or 8. And to me, the 7th and 8s are not watching Furia.
I don't hate the Furia pick. I really don't hate the Furia pick.
I'm not saying you do.
No, I know. I'm just saying I'm backing you up here. I think there's something there. I feel like if it's not EU or NA, a lot of people, which is why I made this comment, a lot of people are talking about Mina. And I feel like there hasn't been enough people talking about Sam. And so, whether or not you think Falcons are better than them, it doesn't really matter. I have not seen as much discourse around Sam as I have about Mina, and I don't know why. Because Sam's been really fun to watch, despite the same 2 teams winning. But I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Does Jorby think
we'll
the
see
Panthers
what happens
make
indeed.
top 4? Yeah.
I think the Panthers can make top 4. Of course.
Yeah.
Well, Corelli, this was great. I enjoyed that. But yeah, Major should be a fun time. And yeah, well, I'll be watch partying it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will be as well, and that'll be a fun time.
Yes, I will be watch partying it. If I'm not there, there's a chance we might go. So.
Oh, that'd be huge.
We might bring awesome, that LG team stream to the LAN. We don't know. I don't know yet. But
all right. Well, I hope for the best for you there, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, buddy. See ya.
Yep. See you later.
There you go, chap. Oh God, Greg's here. Greg, look away. Don't do it. Greg, I defended the boys valiantly. Don't worry. I did my best. I'm excited that you're coming. Well, I don't know. It's not confirmed yet. It's not confirmed yet. I hope we are. I hope we are, though. Let me tell you, if we're there, brother, we will be the biggest cheerleaders for LG. We will be right behind you guys, screaming our heads off. So we'll see. We'll see. We haven't really talked to anyone about it yet, other than LG. But I have LG making top 4. I think LG beating Furia is the most important thing. I don't know if it was you that said it, but the way the bracket or the Swiss pans out, it seems like from what someone was saying earlier, whoever wins that series almost always makes it out, because they end up playing like weaker teams or something like that. So if things play out correctly. But yeah, I'll be watch partying no matter what, whether we're there or not. On Twitch and YouTube. So this is my first time streaming to YouTube. So if you're not following the YouTube, then you should. Shout out to the 16 people in the YouTube chat. I didn't think anyone was going to show up, so I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I see you guys chatting in there. Thank you. If you can, Copenhagen, we have an LG family dinner. Oh man, it'd be great, dude. It'd be great. If it doesn't happen on this one, it'll happen at another LAN, I'm sure. It's kind of last minute. So it'd be fun, man. Either way, we'll be rooting for you guys. We'll probably do an LG team stream regardless on the first, at least for Swiss. So yeah, it'll be exciting, man. I'm super excited for you guys. Do you think that G2 can survive KC? I do think that G2 can win the major. I think KC is going to be a tough one to get over. I think a lot of teams are going to hope that BDS or someone will have to play K-Corp and beat them. I do find it crazy how this is the highest everyone is on Sam top 2 ever, and I barely have them top 8. Yeah. 2 weeks away. Yep. 2 weeks away. Will you do predictions this stream? No. No predictions this stream. I'll save it for a different stream. I mean, like, Gen G roster certainly has some more, like, experience on RLCS lands. Atomic has quite a bit, though. But you have apparently Jack, FK. I don't think that's really a big talking point. They both have some good experiences, and even then they have experience outside of our LCS, so I wouldn't really worry about that too much. How do LG and Furious playstyles match up? LG will, in my opinion, my unofficial opinion is that Furia will try and brute force their way over LG, and LG's got to make sure not to turtle up and play their little panic defense that they do against, like, G2. They got to keep the ball, force Furia into some bad tackles. Furia will still play like a SAM team. They'll still go too far. They'll still go too deep. It's still a thing that happens to SAM teams. I think demos would be a huge part for LG. I think against a team like Furia in particular, they really rely on each other being in the right spot at the right time. And if you get Reddles demoing players, demo meta I think is always valid in any meta. I think demos are always going to be part of the game. That's why I quote tweeted Shift last week and I said, why aren't demos part of these stats? They're, like, so important. I mean, if I was a coach and I had a guy like Reddles or like a Com or whatever, whoever, you know, Atto, whatever, I think demos are, like, my position is that I feel like demos are such a big part of the game. There's so much assumption that happens in Rocket League that when you demo people, you take away the assumption. And when you take away the assumption, that's where the gaps are. So I've always felt that demos are, like, a very big part of the game. And I don't know why they're not included in, because they're tracked too. It's like in the API thingy that they take. So. Yeah, you take teams out of their rhythm. You take teams out of their rotation. It's always a point. It's tough though. You have to. It's a balancing act, right? Like, there are times when players go too deep with it. They chase too hard. It's got to be something that you can do in your rotation. That's why I always said when I was casting, players that rotate through a defense, I think, are the smartest. Rizzo used to do it really well. He was well renowned for that, with, like, bumps. So if you're first man, right? And as you rotate out, you try and clip someone, and you come back around into second or third position, whatever it calls for in that scenario. But players will literally land after an air dribble in the box on the attacking side, and then just rotate through the baseline, rotate through the goal line, and push players out of the way or get a demo. It's so smart. I feel like that's always going to be part of the meta. I feel like that will never go away. It creates an amount of space and imbalance that's extremely hard to recover from in a short amount of time. Yes. Exactly. Have I seen M80's counter to it? No. What's the counter to it? To demos in particular, or just like players rotating through defenses, or lose? They lose in playoffs. Go to ball chasing and look at their heat map versus Gen G. Oh God. Wait, is the heat map actually viable? Sometimes the heat map, man. Hold on, I don't have it saved. I don't have the RLCS packs. It's not, except for this very specific team. Okay, every coach I've talked about, I was like, what do you think about heat maps? I'm like, we don't fucking care. Hold on, ball chasing's really slow for me. I got a server error. I keep getting this when I do this. Every time I go to ball chasing, this happens. I have to just, like, keep clicking it. Heat maps where cars have driven on the field. Oh my god. This site. Is there a faster way to go to get there than replay groups? I always go to replay groups, the RLCS one. Here we go. Was it qualifier 3? That was someone else's. Where's the... Here it is. MB on LAN will be demonic. Magic Bear played well the last time on LAN. Magic Bear played well. Was it Qual 3? Is that the one we're talking about here? I get them all confused these days. We need more unique names. M80 versus Gen G. Okay, yeah, well, Qualifier 1 they played. Or do we want to do, did they play in Qualifier 3? Qual 1. Where the hell do you even see the heat maps on this?
Saturated by the things you felt, long away to how you reject health, dictated by the thoughts that melt. Run around through the heart, take that step. Run around through the heart, catch that breath. We inbound, never down.
If you sub and God willing, please run Cheesemobile edited Gregmobile. Oh no, not the Cheesemobile, dude. Don't get the Cheesemobile out. I'm just realizing I don't know how to go to heat maps on this. Do they not have like a general one, or is this just for the players? Our caster can't use the internet. Oh no. Alright, what am I looking at here? M80. Go to a different game? Okay.
She know nothing about me.
Look, Jordan's just packing the net. Why is AJ's hottest spot on the left post? Bro is sitting on the left post the whole game. Or right post, I don't know, whichever one. Bro is sitting in the fucking post the whole game. Honestly, I don't know. I'm. Oh, look at the DM you sent me. Where'd you send it? On Twitter? Okay. Oh. Okay. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Bro is in the damn net. That is crazy, man. Holy shit. I mean, you can even see it here. It's not as bad in this one. But holy moly. Oh my god. Look at this one. Bro's sitting deep. That's insane. No, I never realized. I don't look at heat maps anymore. I've never done it. I've never really looked into it much. It kind of got written off by a lot of people. You have to watch a game to see how they do it. This is insane. I mean, this is an insane amount of... I wish I knew... Does this tell us how much time this, like, is? I don't know what this means here. I don't know what these are. 14, 31, 54. Oh, the thirds. The thirds, I see. The thirds and then the halves. I got it. Look how even FK is. And they do this against everyone? Or just Gen G? We call it the M80. Dude, now I'm just going to be paying attention to that the whole time. This is funny. Ain't exactly a strat. I mean, it definitely can be. That's so funny. God, I guess I gotta look at heat maps more. I never really did. Most heat maps are like this, though, where it's just like... Nothing's that crazy. Also, I don't understand how... It's insane how much players attack straight up the middle of the field like this, or move up straight up the middle of the field. Like, this is like a perfectly straight line up the middle of the field. Yeah, you do have some players from the... It must be the kick line. The OBS just ripped. Uh-oh. I don't know if the YouTube... We back. Go ahead and refresh. Yeah, that's the classic Corelli internet. Just, you know, shutting down out of nowhere, but everything else works. I could type in chat. I was on the internet. I was on a web page. It all worked. This is interesting, though. I mean, heat maps are cool. I love stats, man. Pickup maps, these are cool, too. I actually think these are really interesting. This is the kind of stuff I really like. This is some cool stuff. Last time I leaked his strats, my house got hit with a predator missile. I'm sending you a Twitter clip in DMs. Okay. Oh, I can't wait for this. Did you rap me out to Spaceman? No. Just mute the audio? Okay. Did you send it? I don't have it yet. Might be taking a second. Figure I was real, feel so different daily. And my voice say heal, but it's something shady. I don't trust a motherfucker when he Okay, hold on. How do I? God damn it, Twitter! You're not gonna let me like open this in a. Okay, we'll have to do it like this. How's your guys' Rocket League experience right here? You guys like this? Holy Twitter compression. Oh my god. Yep. Yeah, I see it. I do see it though. I do see what's happening. He do be doing a dance back there. He do be doing a dance back there. Even though it's in like 12p. Oh god. Not the 12p. Bitrate? No, it's not my bitrate. This is just Twitter. Yeah, no, I do see that. Let me make sure I don't leak DMs. Not that I have anything to leak, but yeah, Twitter absolutely just cooked that video. 270p is the highest I can get on that. Interesting though, because from experience, that's the hardest place to demo from a proper rotation. It destroys the run through from the corner. Yeah, it does make it tough for you to demo because you can't come from the near post that he's hiding behind because you won't maintain the speed. But even if you chase him in the net, you kind of wreck yourself too. Even if you come from the back post, you'll have to chase him all the way into the net, which is such a tough angle to recover from if you're not coming straight into the net. No, you can get him. It's not that you can't get him. If you come from the back post, they're just going to go other near post. Yeah, but even in the perfect world, if you get got in this position. I know it's blurry, but you can still tell where it's at. Even if he's sitting here and you come from like this direction, you can see my mouse, right? Yeah, you come from this direction. I don't know. I guess if you clipped him, you could go up and out. But if he hugs this wall right here, the angle that you hit this wall, you wreck yourself. You just wipe out. That guy? Well, that guy pieced out too. If I can fucking see the clip. The 270p is killer, man. Oh my god. Guys, you have to sub for better bitrate. Sorry. I don't make the rules, man. I don't make the rules. You gotta sub for better bitrate. Side note, you're gonna get dinner with the boys on LAN. Yeah. It'll be weird. If I do go to LAN, it'll be a very strange experience because I've never been to a Rocket League LAN. Sorry, I've been to one Rocket League LAN as a fan, and that was Season 1. Every other Rocket League LAN I went to, I was not a fan. I wasn't in town. I actually would have gone to Season 3 as NRG's manager. Believe it or not, I would have gone to the Season 3 LAN as NRG's manager. I was the manager at the time. For, like, literally a 1 week. I don't know why they needed me. They got me, and then I just, like, never talked to them. It was weird. Yeah, now I'm going as not a fan. I win as not a fan. Now I'm going as a fan. check with skits for a week. Yeah, it was funny too because years later, someone hit me up and they're like, "Hey, are you still the manager of NRG?" And I was like, "I was hardly the manager ever. I didn't do anything. I got sick. I was supposed to go with the guys for LAN. I got sick. I couldn't go. I was sick as a dog. If NRG won, you could have gotten the World Championship tag? No. They didn't give it to managers. I just did it because I wanted to be involved in the community. That's why like I'm really interested in coaching now. If I don't ever get hired back as talent, I really want to coach, but I do think that it'd be tough to do. I'd probably end up coaching like a CRL team or something. I don't think I'll ever coach an RLCS team. I'd like to call a collegiate like esports program would be cool too, but I'd love to be a coach or like even an assistant coach for another team, even if it's just unofficial. Collegiate path is so elite. I almost took it last off season. Yeah, I've been looking into some things. I've been offered. I go to Northeastern. It's funny you say that. Northeastern offered me to coach their CRL team a long time ago, and it was actually like really good pay. But I couldn't take it because I was I was casting CRL. I couldn't do it. Kick Flow State, please. No. I am. If you know of if you have an esports program at your college and you guys need a coach, especially one that doesn't need to be on campus, because like I'm not gonna move for it. I'm interested. So it's extremely good pay. Depends on where you go. Some coaches aren't getting paid that well. I've talked to a few just to get an idea of what's going on out there. We won the first CRL event? Yeah, I know. I was there. I casted it. That was Floms, Mercurial, and Shark Party, right? Man, that was a long time ago. That was 2017. I will say the casting cuts are tough for you guys. I try and come out to support the side quests. Hey, thank you, Donnie. Yeah, those were some throwback names. They played against Ohio State, so it was Kings. Oh no, I'm forgetting J-Bob. Was it J-Bob? Threes? Oh, I can't remember now. It was so long ago. Vortex. That's who I was forgetting. Vortex. I knew it. Yeah, Vortex. That was the guy I talked to the most. Yeah, Vortex. Yeah. J-Bob, Kings, and Vortex against Floms, Mercurial, and Shark Party. You had T-Lock, Eggs, Plasma, Venny. Good job, Kev. Lobster, 43. I forgot 43. Twice the Tank, Stay at Home Savage, Alex Storm. Yep. Dewis. Yep. David Silverado. Man, back in the day. Man. Dude, this was peak, by the way. This was peak. Achieves and I, we did this all in one day, didn't we? We did this whole bracket. Achieves and I cast every single, well, I don't know if we casted every single one of them. We casted most of these, though. All in one night. We were there till like midnight. It was so late. This was actually probably the hardest cast I've ever done. This was such a grinder. Northeastern's really, we have good Val and Overwatch teams. That's so cool. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't take the coaching job because casting certainly paid off, but I'd love to coach a CRL team. I think CRL is so fun too because I really think you could actually implement a style, and I think it could work. The remote universities ruined it. You can't change my stance on it. Yeah, I try not to participate in it anymore. The facility closes at 6:30? That's insane. 6:30? CRL doesn't start till like 7. I know Arizona just lost all of its funding for its esports program. I was looking, they had a position open to be an esports director there, and it paid like 60 grand a year to be an esports director at the University of Arizona. And they did some miscalculations in their damn budget, and so they had to cut the esports program, or they cut the whole department or something. So it's not worth it me playing anymore because we lose to online colleges. 60 G's American is pretty good. Yep. You see what Clerky posted today on Twitter? No. You can link it in chat if you want. Yeah, CRL, this was peak. And literally, CRL had 2 talent, man. It was a Chiefs and I. Insane. This was insanity. Drexel with the most goated CRL clip of all time, which we also need to dig up somewhere. Voices are proud and excited to announce our President Advisory Council members in honor to have these leaders as a higher education help grow college esports industry. Who are these people? Howard Gilman, Chancellor Chair, President's Advisory Council, Gene Block. Oh, they're the presidents of the universities. Oh, okay. Wow. Some big schools in here. Big schools in here. Yeah, that's huge. Holy. Voice of Intercollegiate Esports. Nonprofit member organization creating a united voice for higher education and college esports. Okay, cool. Northeastern fell off. It's tough. It's tough to be good. League of Legends team, it's a whole ordeal. That's cool. It's really cool. I'm really jealous. I think we had an esports. I went to the University of Arizona. I think we had an esports team, but I wasn't even into esports at all that much at the time. I was too busy doing other things. Bach and Law. Oh my god. Donnie! There's our board, Donnie! And low tech. Oh, we can't forget about U of I with Navy Strikers. Some of the OG content makers in the CRL scene, especially pre-Bates, pre-T-Bates. It was Navy Striker. It was Navy Striker going up with toe-to-toe with the U of A boys. Where'd I go to school? I went to U of A. I went to University of Arizona. I graduated in December of 2015. I went to school for but I went to school for 3.5 years. Could I coach there? I probably could, but I think they slashed all their fun. The thing is, I don't want to coach for free. I'd coach a high school team for free, but I wouldn't coach a college team for free. High schools are usually publicly funded, but if you're a privately funded institution and you want to have something, I feel like you need to pay for it. So, and also, I don't want to take free coaching because I think that hurts other coaches. So, I think it's important that people don't do things for free. When it comes to big institutions like that, if you want to actually be paid. Coach my ass at a Diamond 220. $20. I like the 220 better. I can coach you at a Diamond for $220. Here, buy my... Actually, you know what? Pay $1,500 for my Grand Champion course, all right? We'll take you from Bronze all the way to Grand Champ, and I'll do it in one weekend. $1,500, take it or leave it. I'm already subbed. What do you want? What, you guys don't like that? Come on now. All right, fine. $1,200. Can you coach 2 teams at the same time, like an RLCS team and a CRL team? That's a good question. I don't know if you can or not. Have we had that in CRL? I don't know if we've had a coach that's done both. Make a course on how to make courses for ranking up. Oh, by the way, speaking of making things, I have figured out what my next YouTube video is gonna look like. So by the way, for my YouTubers, I know there's not a lot of you in the YouTube thing, but shout out to my YouTube viewers and my YouTube channel that I'm dual streaming on for the first time today. I do have a new YouTube video that I have tentatively started working on. My age is not 29 anymore, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it is not 29. Yeah. We unfortunately went past that. Yeah, I turned 30 like a couple weeks ago. I don't feel 30. I feel 24. I feel like I'm like 21 still. I don't feel like I'm 30. Sorry to hear that. No, I feel great. I really do. I don't feel bad at all. It's not as bad as people made it out to be. Got to deal with cheese all day. Makes me feel 50. How's my jump shot? I grew up an athletic kid, but my jump shot's not great. Handles, I got the handles. Great at passing. Jump shot, not great. I didn't learn how to shoot a basketball properly when I was younger. So I'm right-handed, but for whatever reason, I follow through with my left, even though I'm shooting with my right. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how. I turned 31 July 2nd. I feel 100. I may be the only RL fan that can or could dunk. You know who's a hooper? Was Subi. Bro had a mean shot. What's up, Bates? Subi was kind of a baller. Yeah. Yeah, Bates. I want to coach some CRL. That's what I've decided, if it ever comes back. I don't even know if there is going to be a CRL, but even if there isn't, it's cool because now there's other collegiate competitions besides CRL. So I'm definitely interested in becoming a coach somewhere. I really like dissecting the game. I know that's not apparent on Spaceman and I's cast for LG, but I really do like breaking down the game. On Twitch at 30, tell you that for sure. Yeah, I know. Age is just the mindset. You know, I use that live feed for coaching. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. I probably wouldn't. Oh, yeah. Wait, no. You use our live feed? I thought you just meant the clean feed. I didn't know you guys were using our feed. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's so funny. That's so funny. I'm so sorry. You seemed like an AZ real fan. Wait, what do you mean, Raven? It's okay, right, Greg? I try and I've been trying to. Oh no, dude! I've tried to stop us from cutting away from gameplay, so I'm trying to cut down on that because I know people don't like that. But the fumble on CRL is hurting my soul. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm hoping it's not a fumble, and I'm hoping it's just like you're just taking a semester off to get things sorted. But I don't know. I'm so sorry, Greg. I didn't know that. The fraud mobile when you guys are like down. Good. Keep that muted, Greg. Do not unmute when that comes up. LG's down like 0-2 in a game, and we'll be in the fraud mobile like calling LG frauds. We're like, guys, yeah, do not unmute that. Guys, are we frauds? Could be a dumb question. That's so funny. Does CRL work with Rocket League? Like, do they work with the RLCS guys? No. CRL players are welcome to play in RLCS if they'd like. They can qualify like Akron did, and like Boise State has tried. But they're two separate leagues. Who runs CRL? Well, Psyonix does. It's a separate league that they run outside of RLCS. Oh. Psyonix, Epic. Epic runs CRL. It's just a secondary league in tandem with RLCS. Greg, no more Browns jerseys during the games. Not the Browns jerseys. Greg, we got to clean up the basement, though. That's what we got to do. We got to get that thing organized. Get some cutouts of Slater or something back there. Is that a pool table in the back or something? What is this music? This is not my Isaac app that I signed up for. Oh, you just moved in? Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense. I wish I had a basement. They don't do basements here in Arizona. I really wish I had a basement. A life-size beast mode cutout. Spaceman and I will be getting cutouts of players eventually. I think that's the plan. That was one of the first like ideas that we came up with. I'm flying through phases, 1 second popping, the next I be anxious. I'm flying through pages, 1 second lonely, the next full of faces. The shirtless Gib cutout? Yeah, we could do that too. Life-size Daniel goes crazy. I'm flying through, but you know that it takes two. If we tango, everybody fake too. A fake halo, tell me how to break through. With my aim low, I might get a beach view. This is the most entertaining chat room I've seen in a while. Hey, have a good night, man. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by, Greg. Appreciate you. Life-size Daniel's still pretty small. He is a small dude. I wonder if he's been growing, though. I wonder if he's been growing. I'm sure he has. He probably has. Probably a little bit bigger. Bro's got to hit puberty at some point, you know what I mean? Maybe not. I haven't seen his parents, so I don't know how tall he'll grow. All right, chat. I think I'm good to go as well. I think we're done here. This has been a 3-hour and 48-minute stream. I didn't intend to stream that long, but I enjoy talking with you guys. No, this is, I mean, dude, it's rare that you get a almost 4-hour-long yap session from me. Also, Donnie, I don't know if I thanked you for the sub, by the way. I see that in my notifications. I am so sorry. Don't know if I did or not, but thank you for the sub. Thank you for all subs today. We're almost back to 50. Apologies for not streaming for the last week. What's up, Bates? Life gets in the way, you know what I mean? Life gets in the way. So, do I prefer donations or subs? I get more money from donations. So I like donations more. Twitch takes 50% of the subs. So I like the subs. Subs are great. But I should start coaching. Would chatters sign up for coaching if I just did like, you know, some coaching? I like to coach like people who are like a diamond or something, like Champ 1. Dinner on me? Ah, Bates, you don't have to do that. DM me the Venmo or PayPal. The PayPal link's in my thing. In my bio. Or like the below. I'd be down. I might start doing that like in my Discord and stuff. Or just some champ for the last 3 years. Give me. Oh fuck. All right. Now, see, this is what happens. Start talking about money and people give me money. Raven, thank you. Thank you for the 10 gifted, man. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. You didn't have to do that. He's at 250 now. Oh my gosh. 250. What happened to Danny B? You guys, Danny B and you were going at it, and then Danny B, I don't know where he went. He popped in a while ago, though. Thank you, man. I really appreciate your support. That's a lot of subs you've given me, a lot of money. Now I'm over the 1,200 coaching session requirement. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, dude. I got 1 MMR away from GC once. I might start doing it. Turtle quit that job, dude. Turtle quit the job. He realized he didn't want to serve burritos. I don't blame him. Yeah, the donate, the Venmo, here, I'll just send you the Venmo if you really want to do it. It's just better than that anyways. The Venmo's just at Jack Collier 22. That's the Venmo. That's the Venmo right there. It's a picture of me in my fraternity when I was a freshman. I have a red flag in the background with like 4 dudes. Bates gonna be raking in the lawyer money soon. I hope so. I hope Bates gets rich being a lawyer, buys a yacht, and we have a boat land finally. Keg stands? No, I'm allergic to beer. I'm allergic to beer, so I can't drink beer. Yeah, you're missing out. You're missing out beer's ass. Yeah, I'm gluten free. I have to be. I have a autoimmune disease. I have celiac. So yeah, I was drinking like hardcore liquor. Oh, back then White Claws weren't a thing when I was in college and stuff. No, I know what you meant, Lester. 30 plus beer makes you fat, dude. I don't drink beer, and I've been losing weight. I've been going to the gym. I've been getting the muscles. All right, we're getting back to strength. It's coming back. All right. I don't lift heavy though. I appreciate Bates. Thank you, man. Appreciate you stopping by, dude. Core is all on the diet. I know. I walk 2 miles every single day. In the morning, I walk 2 miles. First thing I do every day. Don't know if I'm going to be able to do that once I get a job, but I've been going to the gym. I have taken the dog a couple times. I don't normally take the dog, though. The dog is a little bit of a psycho. So. But yeah. We're getting the muscles back. I've been working on my chest. That's the big thing. Trying to get a bigger chest. I've never had a chest. I was a soccer player, so my legs are big. I had a six-pack, but we never worked upper body. So the upper body's coming in. We're getting some boobies. You know what I mean? It's coming in. I gotta drop some body. Or I gotta get my what's it called? Fat percentage, whatever. A little bit lower. It's too high right now. BMI, it's yeah, BMI. Yeah. Whatever it is. It's too high. So I've been working on it. I'll just take the anime Rex. Your shepherd's on something, walks are rough. Yeah. I don't know anything about anime. Protein intake? I know. I'm not good about protein intake. That's my issue. That's why I don't really build muscle as fast as I should. Yeah, I thought BMI was different than body fat percentage. I thought BMI was kind of a farce. That's why I said body fat percentage. But what's my favorite gluten-free food? I don't know. I mean, I can have a lot of normal things. I eat oatmeal every morning. I like oatmeal a lot. So. Which doesn't account for like literally anything. Yeah. I know. I had a friend, or not a friend, someone that my fiance knows. This guy's like a bodybuilder, and he's kind of like a shorter guy. He's not like super tall, but he weighed like a lot because he was big. And the doctors literally told him that he like needed to lose weight, and he had like no fat on him at all. He's like, "What do you mean?" Yeah, I can eat ancient grains. Protein powder every day in the oatmeal. Yeah, I know. I need to start doing that. I put peanut butter in my oatmeal, some cinnamon. I do some almond milk, and then blueberries and a banana. That's what I do in the morning. And sometimes strawberries. I'll chop up like a strawberry. You're 6'5" and it's hard to gain mass? Yeah. I'm 5'11". So I'm pretty slightly above average, but not freakishly large. Does coffee have gluten? No, it's just a bean. It's the shit you put in coffee that might have gluten, but if you just have like raw coffee, no. All right, enough yapping. I gotta go because I have to go make dinner. I don't know what I'm gonna make. What am I gonna make for dinner? Hold on, let me figure that out. What do we have for dinner? Oh, I know what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make some firecracker beef. All right, appreciate everyone. Thank you for the time. 4-hour stream of yapping. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming in. For those of you on the YouTube stream, I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. It was our first one. I hope to see you at the next one. For those of you on Twitch, you know I love you. You guys have been here for a while now. Thank you. And I will see you guys next time. Yeah, DM me, Donnie. I'm interested. I am. I need help. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one. We'll be back later this week. Bye-bye.